We've got audio, and we are live. Shabbat Shalom, my most esteemed friends, honorable judges, LVE tribe, as well as all those friends listening. On this so precious day of Shabbat, already hot, rather, although the temperature goes down at night, it's very comfortable. Now come the real heated days. I hope that we have a short summer and that the hot climate leaves already, but it's California. It is the oven, the hot oven that is lit. Today is Shabbat, Sivan 19th, the third month of the year 5992 from creation, corresponding to July 8th from the year 2023, and we shall study Revelation 17:38. Wow, 38 subjects of Revelation 17, which they all are related. I like to have them in order in a series. Seals, trumpets, and plagues, part 11. Part 11. Of course, I won't leave it at 11. We'll make another chapter. And 11 is a number that always reminds me the two buildings. They look like two buildings. Number 11, something that the beast likes to use a lot. It has lots of the things which we have studied. And rather, today we're in part 11. And we shall do another subject about this. Today we shall see how far we get. But this so fantastic a series in which we learn about everything, not just about Revelation 17, not just about seals, trumpets, and plagues. It's rather a gathering, a chat, a gathering of judges and of gods. We're here to learn. We're here to continue to advance in the time which Yahweh has available for us here. Without any further ado, let us seek our Elohim. Beloved Yahweh, we give you thanks for this so precious day of Shabbat. We give you thanks because we can continue to study and understanding your word, which was written for us. We ask you that you continue to prepare us, that you give us patience, lots of patience, to live in this flat earth, to live amongst all these lies, amongst all this violence, which Babylon does with all their inhabitants. I ask you that we can continue to go on in this path and that we can soon see all your promises fulfilled in your precious name, Yahweh Sebaot, our only creator and our husband. Hallelujah. Yahweh has blessed with one more year of life the following members of the Eternal Truth: Carolina Bucardo, Nicaragua; Luis Brevis, Chile; Kaylet Moreno, Colombia; Lidia Hernandez, Mexico; Mayra Estela Vicente, Mexico; Amelia Barrios Iturralia, Argentina; Nancy Perdomo, Venezuela; Vera Lucia Guido, Brazil; Jesus Manuel Charle Jimenez, Mexico; Albelis Janisbel Mendoza Baez, the Dominican Republic; Araceli Calderon, Mexico; Cesar Ruiz, the US of A; Juan Daniel Duque, Spain. To each and every one of you, a great big hug. On behalf of all the Eternal Truth, may Yahweh bless you greatly and fill you with patience, fill you with wisdom, and that it be the very last birthday you have under the government of Babylon. That is our desire. And that the next time you have a birthday, you are under the definitive government, which is that of the rock, which is here, the government of Jesus. And if a Christian were to listen to me, would say amen, but he doesn't even know what he's saying. The government of the Messiah, the government of everything which is promised, and the government of Yahweh also. So then, may it be the very last. That is our wish. Maybe we have some more that are missing. I'd like to thank for the so precious a gift, a kitchen set which was sent to us by our friend and colleague Felix from London. It is, let's see how we open it. It is stainless steel, which in Spanish they say stainless steel, but it is a golden color, as if it were a golden color, so it's spectacular rather. So precious. It has forks, knives, spoons, great big spoons and small ones. They're still wrapped up. Just to see them and appreciate them. Some of them, they're very, very beautiful. Many, many thanks, Felix. A precious gift, rather magnificent. We thank you greatly for it. Many thanks for this present, for always making us joyful and always remembering us and enjoying everything that you send us. This, which went inside. Let's go ahead and put it away. It's a protector. This is a part of the guide. Very well. This week we sent a whole quantity of rings. We sent everything which the jeweler is giving me. I mean, it's just that there's so many that he's doing them with lots of quality, but it takes its time. So then all those which he's been given me, I've been giving them away. I always try to ask some extra ones due to just in case somebody can add me another number, or somebody wanted an extra one, so then I can send them. I have some extra ones that I use them for that. That's why there are some have the luck that asked me for some numbers that I had, and I can send them before. Otherwise, since I give the jeweler the order and he's going to take at least, I mean, it would seem crazy, but it's just so many. It takes so much. It's all an artisan work that takes so much time. At least 2 months. Look at what I'm telling you. From what I see, from what he's telling me, there are some that get there sooner. And if you see that I've sent them to you and not a lot of time has passed, it's because I had some extras. That's why. But do not despair. There's time for everything, and we're in that period. Tell the truth, it's a great pleasure for me and a great responsibility for all of us, both Leslie and also the kids, because we get together. They don't even want to see us at the post office. Yeah, because we enter with so many packages, and they know that it takes so much time. When they see that we come, they know us. Oh, I send Brian and say, "Oh, you're the son. You're his son, right?" So then, and you have to understand my writing because it's difficult for them to understand, and it takes its time. So then, it's all a process because it takes Leslie a whole dedication to write for the cards, the envelopes, not to make a mistake. Except for there's one that we're doubting that hasn't. If we sent them, if a ring was missing, I don't know how, because there are so many that we do it with the most care. But it could happen. We're humans. There could be mistakes, but the rest is all great. There are some of you which it's kind of small. Nobody has had it big. It's been small. From here on out, ask for either even a number extra. If it's too big, that's fine. I'll repeat. I know that you never thought about this, but a great big ring, they sell some plastic things, or you yourself can add double tape. You know what double tape is? Is not double, but just anything that you can add to the ring makes it so that it's wide. The thing is that it's wide, and you have some of you have some measuring tapes that are too fine. I'm going to repeat this again. Maybe you don't understand. So then you try some fine ones, and it enters well. And it enters well, and you think that whatever measuring is going to enter well. And no, since it's wide, it's always smaller. And taking that into account, the measurings are not so exact or precise. So then the 8 of the jeweler could be a smaller than yours. That's what happens. So then that's why, if there's any doubt, you have to always ask for a number that's bigger. Half a number at least, or a bigger number. I'm so scared, and I don't want you to misinterpret this, that there's many men that ask me for an 8 and a 9. I can't believe this because 8 and 9 is my finger. And I say, might it be? And say, I have fine fingers. Maybe you think you have fine fingers because I also consider that I have fine fingers. There are people that have bigger fingers. I have fine fingers. I have fine fingers, but I have 11, 12, 13, and 14. I don't know. Tell the truth, I don't know. Brian tells me I also have fine fingers, but what do you use, a 9? Oh, he has an 8, 9, and 10. So then he can use it in different fingers. So then if you measure yourselves, the ring finger, which would be this one right here, where you wear your ring on your left finger. Eduardo, who is thin, he has a 9.5. I can't believe that someone, a 40-year-old man, 50-year-old man asked me for an 8. I'll make it for you, but I know it's going to be too small. I'd have to see it with my own eyes to believe it. With that, I tell you everything, because I see Eduardo's hand, and of course, a 9.5, you said, and he has thin hands. Thin hands, rather. So then it's difficult for me to understand, and I try to insist. Sam said, no, that's my size. Tell the truth. Don't change the order, not because of the ones that the jeweler has, I can't change. Now, you'll have to stand with the ones that you asked for. And if you don't like it, you're going to have to order another one if you don't like it. Right, you can wear it as an earring, you can hang it, or another finger. But what I wanted to tell you is that many take the ring finger from their left hand, the one that they don't use, because the ring finger used on the left hand, right? Left hand. The thing is that it's an odd measuring and it's kind of small. There's no other finger for you to use because the very same finger on the right hand is bigger because it's the one that you use. And then to have a dream in a different ring finger, if you asked it on this one, then you'll use it on this one, for example. For example, use it on this one. And if it's too big, you'll use it directly in this one. And if it's too big, you add a support. But don't ask for small. Tell the truth, I'm very much surprised that people that have asked for an 8 for men, I can't believe it. For me, I don't know, I could be wrong. I don't want to offend anybody, but for me, a man cannot have less than a 10. He cannot have less than a 10. But that is what I think. Maybe it's my ignorance. I don't know your hands and all the rest. But just in case, ask for a bigger one, and then you change it over to another finger. That is what I have to tell you. And the same thing with women. The same thing with the women. Leslie uses from 7, and she uses fingers that other types of ringers. He says, this one is kind of big, but I can use it in this one, and then this one. And what about this one? Right here on this thumb. No? Okay, 9, 9.5, 9.5 I've given you. Right, 9, 9.5. Right, maybe not a 10. Maybe not a 10. But just in case, because many listen to us and they don't understand, we have to repeat this many times. They still have, this week, many have asked me, and men have asked me even a number 7 for men. I said, 7 for men? I have to see it to believe it, just like that, see it to believe it. And sometimes I see the hands, because with Leslie we start to see pictures to see your hands. And I said, no, how's he going to have a 7? Look at the fingers he's got, the size of them. The thing is that you measure them with the... I'm going to repeat this again. It doesn't matter what video on YouTube you saw or it's been given to you. Don't measure it with the little paper. That is so unreal. It's so unreal to use the little paper strip. It's better to have a ring and try it on. And a little bigger from the ones that you use, because I've told you, since it's wider, it's bigger. And it could be that this jeweler, the measurings he's got are smaller than the ones that you tried. Look, something else I have to tell you. This week, it called my attention, not this week, but some weeks ago, Brian told me something about the ring that I forgot to comment it to you because I liked it. He says, Dad, didn't you see the letters you chose for the ring? No, I like them. He said, don't you see that they are bones? Bones, I said. Look at them. Look at the V. The V is a bone. It has the form, how it ends as a bone. It says, wow, they're all bones. maybe it has some meaning. So I stopped to look for it and said, that's true, they are bones. And the bones, who uses the bones? And well, the bones are used by the pirates, like the pirate flag, which is one that's either going to steal or take your territory, which is against the system. The pirates are precisely. They're not in favor of the system, but against the system of the pirates. And tell the truth, I found it very interesting what Brian's observation. It's also a symbol of war, the pirates, but also, I was thinking about it, more biblically speaking, more deeply, but I said, wow, but of course, it's a symbol of resurrection. What are the bones? The bones represent, if you see bones, like a skull. The bones represent resurrection. This ring represents that in some point in the future, it's going to have a power, even if you don't believe it. The one that possesses the ring, the Lord of the Ring, which is chosen and believes. Because if the post office stole it, or he asked for it for someone, or one asked for it that doesn't believe in anything, just because he wants to have it, nothing's going to happen. But those that believe in the chosen, the judge, this ring has power, and it will have power to resurrect, which is the power which Yahweh will give us. The power of resurrection. That is why I said, why, of course, the bones mean that it's the dry bones, which are those that are the bearer of it. Even if you think it's crazy what you're listening to, you're trying to say, this guy's crazy. Don't you worry. It's not for you. The message is not for you. But in all of the history that we're studying, the bearer of that white stone is for something. Yeshua said, in other words, it's for Yeshua, this message of the Father, the only God there is for Yeshua, said this in Revelation 2:17, New Living Translation. Whomever hath ears to hear, many can listen, but they don't understand. They must listen to the Spirit and understand what he saith unto the churches, unto all who are conquerors. That's why he says 2:17, blessed those who get to 13:35. I'll give him of the hidden manna that's been hidden in heaven, and I shall give them each one a white stone, and in the white stone it shall be engraved a new name, that no one comprehends aside from him that receiveth it. This which is not explained, it's very explicit that this ring has something. It's not just the jewel, because otherwise, a promise in Scripture of jewels, absolutely has, it's worthless because it's jewel, it's just nothing else. A little white stone, why are you going to give it to me? In that case, I'll buy it myself, I'll do it myself, and do it myself. And add the name. No, this new name actually comes with a power. It is a ring for the judges, and the judges have power to resurrect. Precisely, you've got it as a symbol of bones, the dry bones, dead bones. And that, for example, in Revelation, that's why we hold back sometimes, and we explain other things which are part of the subject, right? Revelation chapter 7, which I'm not going to explain completely today, but just so you see something, Revelation chapter 7 reads as follows. It's a little different than what we've been understanding when we studied this chapter. After this, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth. Interesting. 4 angels standing. Might these be the very same 4 angels which were bound? Of course, if they're bound, they're not standing. In other words, you could be standing and bound, but the symbol, we have to look for the symbol. If they're standing, is that they're loose and not together, but they're in the 4 corners of the earth. One thing is for them to be bound together in the river Euphrates. Another is that they're standing separate in the 4 corners of the earth. What does it mean, the 4 corners of the earth that have dominion over all the earth? The 4 corners means the complete wholeness entirety of the earth. So then it's completely different to the situation of being bound together. Now they are in a position of dominion. These four angels, which are the very same, these four angels, which are standing on the four corners of the earth, which held back the four winds of the earth from blowing upon the earth. Not a leaf rustled in the trees in the sea, because as smooth as glass, they have the power to hold back a destruction, but they also have the power to cause the destruction. And I saw another angel coming from the east. And there was another messenger or another message that comes unto those four angels, carrying the seal of the living God, we could say, and he had the ring of the living God. Seal with the ring is the very same expression, because the ring is a ring of sealing. So then the seal is equal to the ring. It's the very same word, very same expression. In other words, the ring of power, not a ring of beauty. A ring of power was to give power to execute a command. We've seen it. It was the ring of the kings. So then the ring is the one that seals the command. The ring is the one that has the power. The one that has the ring has power. That's why the kings would offer it to someone else and says, take, do whatever you want. Do the command. As long as you have that ring, it's equal to you having my absolute power. Your decree is my decree, because you have the ring. We've already understood that. So then it continues. And I saw another angel coming from the east, carrying the seal, or the ring, we could say, of the living God. And he cried out to the four angels who had been given power to injure land and sea. Exactly. These four angels have power to hold back, or they have power to cause harm. We've seen in the sixth trumpet, these angels are bound, and in an hour, one day, month, and year, they are let loose. Why are they let loose? To destroy the earth. So then we're speaking about exactly these angels, the very same angels. Four angels that have power to do what? To cause harm to the earth and the sea, saying, I command those four angels, hurt not the trees or the sea or the trees, until we have placed the seal in their foreheads, the servants of our God with the seal. This could be absolutely symbolic. Pay attention to what I'm about to say. Now, with everything that we've been learning in these chapters little by little, I do not see, I'm understanding this even better with as time goes on. But tell the truth and the light that Yahweh gives us goes in augmentation. If we had been done with this already, this were to be in action. We always thought, and the whole world has taught, that the true sealing or the false sealing is something upon living people, right? Those that are alive are sealed. But what if it's not that? Because the scripture is concealed. What if we gather together all the relation of seals, trumpets, plagues, and we see that they are not, a person is not sealed that is alive, because it would make no sense now what we're saying. I'm saying this is all in a speculative terrain, and when we see it, it could be in either way, and we could say, yeah, the people that are living are sealed also. I won't argue with that, but I'm just giving a new idea that would seem more in accord with what we've been studying. So then, you've already imagined what the seal is then? Because of everything I've said, have you imagined what it is? Did you imagine what it is? What could it be? With everything that I've just said, what could then be the true sealing? What could it be? Think. With everything I just said, what could it be? I hope for somebody to write to me or for you to tell me something. I've always said, I don't want to declare this. Very well, Andres. Very well, Andres. The first one who said the answer. What if that by understanding that a seal, as bones, means the resurrection, So then to seal is to resurrect. Since it's all concealed, the people read this and they could not ever understand what if, but I want to go first to what we've studied in the order that we've studied it first. First we have the great testing, the white horse of the pharmakeia throwing arrows everywhere. Some avoid them and others receive it together because they want it. So then, what would happen with the second one? The second one, it starts a war, a very bad war. And the third one, what is in the third one? But the witnesses testify and they piss off the whole world. So then what happens in the fourth one? The fourth one is kind of like the death of the witnesses. The fifth one, what is it? The resurrection of the witnesses, in which the abyss is opened. The whole of the abyss of death is opened because they are dead. And out of the very abyss, they came up, the army that the four angels are going to guide. So then in that order of testimony, death, resurrection, and army, what is it? The true sealing then, right there. Clearly so, it is the resurrection. Because before the final war of these 200 or 2 millions of thousands of the army, that army is an army that is resurrected. Because they came up from the abyss. Do you understand, right? That is the logic that will go exactly because of the way it is written in dates per se, in a form, I don't know, I missed the word, in an ordained way and in the appropriate time. First they testify, and then they die, and then they resurrect because they are taken from the whole of the abyss. So then, people have asked me, could it be that the whole of the abyss and that dead be spiritual? In other words, not spiritual, not spiritual, but in a way that is not literal but symbolic. It could all be. Maybe it's not a death that's completely physical, but it's a death of all the social media. It's a death because they were put in jail. It could be, we could elaborate with this. It doesn't matter. But the resurrections would be to take them from where they are. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, let's go to the physical part. If it's something symbolic, it's all fine. We'll understand it once we get to that. But the thing is to understand the process. For now, I sustain that it's physical death. If it's not physical death, there's no problem. We'll understand because we'll understand the process, death, physical, or some one way or another. Death in the system, for example, that they're completely isolated, that they cannot speak with anybody, or that there are, in prison, physical death because they're not communicated. It could be perfectly well. So then when the moment comes, we'll understand. The thing is to understand the process. Testification, which is what we see now. Also, death, physical or symbolic. But then we have the resurrection thereof. The resurrection is equal to true sealing. The resurrection equal to true sealing. And for those that execute that resurrection or true sealing thereof, they have to have the ring of Elohim, just as clear as daylight. So then those that have the ring have the power, and it'll be exerted. And here it talks about the ring directly. I'll read it again. Then I saw 4 angels standing. They are no longer bound upon the 4 corners of the earth. They're not together. They have dominion upon all the earth. That is what it means. They have no longer any restriction. That held back the 4 winds of the earth, that no wind would be blown upon the earth or the sea or any tree. What are they holding back? Their army. What is the wind? The wind of war. Exactly. So then they hold back the army that is going to destroy everything. Just like that. It's going to destroy. And they hold it back. Why? Because they are the bosses, the leaders. So they hold it back. They have the power. And now it's going to tell you. And I also saw another angel and explains there is a holding back. It's another angel ascending from the east, having the seal, a ring, of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth. They didn't have the power at first, but the power was given to them because they are predestined for an hour, a day, a month, and a year. To whom it was given the power of hurting the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have resurrected perfectly well, resurrected in their foreheads, in their mind, in their heads, in their life. The servants of our God, notice that they are considered, and we don't like the word because we already understand something else, servants. And they're all servants in the very good sense of the words. They're not slaves, they're servants. They're servants. And those servants, in turn, someday will be kings, but they have to start as servants, just like we started as servants until we understood what we are doing on this earth. So then, they are servants because they are the followers of the Lamb. And I heard the number of the sealed. It could be that it says, I heard the number of the resurrected. And this is completely symbolic. 144,000 resurrected or sealed out of all the tribes of the children of Israel. It's still symbolism. Because the true Israel, it is from different nationalities, different ideas, different religions, different ways of thinking. But they have something in common. They have not allowed for the poison to enter into their temple. They haven't allowed it to enter the poison into their temple. Another way of saying that, I'm going to show it to you today. Another way of saying that, that's so marvelous, which Yahweh utilizes, is found in what we're about to study today, is the same thing as to say not to allow oneself to be marked, arrowed, not to take the abomination that maketh desolate, or I'm about to say it in a different way, that you don't even wait, which is written, which is the same thing. You don't understand it. Very well. He advances at number 9. And then after this I saw, and behold, a great multitude. Those 144,000 became a great multitude. They became that, a great multitude. They're not 144,000 literally. It's 144,000. It is a symbolic number, as if to say the Lamb. It is a Lamb, which are many. It's as if to say the Messiah, but it's many. To say 144,000, it's because there are a whole quantity of. And here it says so. Then I saw, and then a great multitude which nobody could count. To thousands upon thousands, same expression. From where? From all the nations, tribes, peoples, and tongues which were before the throne and in the presence of the Lamb. The presence of whom? Of the Lamb. Who is the Lamb? A being? No. It is a group of people, the Lamb is. It is the bride, the sons of Elohim, dressed with white robes. Why are they dressed with white robes? And with palms upon their hands. The symbolism of white robes, I understand it. Symbolically speaking, it means that they were resurrected. Just like that. That is what we could say in a form that's more than speculative, as if to say, what is the symbol of white robes? Yeah, that they washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. We could say many things. We could say it is the just act of the just. We could say what it means is that they deserve to have received the true sealing or the resurrection, and they cried out. What do these people cry out about? These are the two witnesses. These are the 144,000. These are the 2 thousands upon thousands. These are the 2 loaves of bread of Shavuot. They cried out in a great voice, saying, the salvation belongs. The salvation, the resurrection thereof, everything, everything that you want. Here comes the salvation. Belongs to our God, only one being. This whole world already recognizes there's only one Elohim. God, our God, the only Elohim, Yahweh Sabaoth, which is seated in the throne, doesn't do anything. There's the symbol also. Yahweh is sitting in the throne. He doesn't do anything. The Messiah does everything. The Messiah does everything. Why? Because could he do it? Yeah, of course he can. But if he does it, the Messiah doesn't receive glory. And that's what he wants, that his bride receive the glory. He doesn't do anything then. He doesn't do absolutely a thing. In fact, he gives his ring to resurrect. just like Yeshua said, the Father doesn't judge anyone. All judgment is given unto the Son. Was referring to him? No, he referred to his bride, the Son of Man. He also said the Father resurrects those whom he wants, but the Son also resurrects those whom he wants. Because the Father has life in himself. Also, he gave the Son to have life in himself. And that life in himself begins with the symbol of power and resurrection, which is the ring, which is the white stone, which is not a jewel or just any stone that is worthless. It is the symbol of power of Yahweh. Every time we understand this even better and better, absolutely better. And now we can receive it by faith. Up ahead, when this is a reality, there will be the woe and the gnashing of teeth, because that's why Yahweh gave the promises. He says, where's your ring? Where's your robe? Because they're all symbols. No, I don't have it. Okay, out with you. Out with you. No, because I was gathering the money. I didn't want to have any. Some of you incredibly tell me, I can't now, because I learned to gather the money. All the parables are applied in this very same act. Very first place. The parable of the robe of the wedding dress. And then the virgins, which you can also apply it in this sense. There were 10 virgins. 5 had bought enough of something, the oil. It could explain however you want. That's why you have to learn from the parables, because it's applied in a whole quantity of things in our life. And another 5, they hadn't bought it because they said, I don't have money to buy more oil. The other ones didn't go out to buy it. They have the reserve of oil. They had bought even more. They had spent even more to spend even what they didn't have, and that they were going to pay for it later in its due time. But when the reality hits, they find out that there are 5 idiot ones that don't have it. They're like, oh, this now I do want to buy it. I'll give everything to buy it. Now this time I want to give my greatest effort. Now this time I can't. No, it's too late now. The other ones say, go and look for those that sell. Go to the jeweler. It says, no, but we can't see any now. Oh, no, you don't see. You're not going to give you anything. There's no reality. And they're going to want to present this. We believed. It's just that we didn't buy it. Why? Because we didn't want to have any debt. It was too expensive. I thought that it was something that I was going to obtain in the future. And now in the future, I see that it no longer being sold. What is it going to say? What is Yeshua going to say? I don't know you. Who are you? I don't know you. But we know you. I don't know you. Just like that, I don't know you. You don't remember how many times I wrote to you? I'm sorry. Erase my email. I don't have Facebook now. I do not know you. Just like that, I do not know you. So then there is a time. Another parable, which could it be? That of the talents. Could it be applied here? Yes, it has many applications. Many applications. It could be applied here in one way or another. Yes. 3 people. Yeshua gives some 10, others 5, and some 1. Something like that, right? 10, 5, 1. Well, those are different measuring. Doesn't matter. It's an application. I mean, either way, we'll say 5, 10, and 1. Those who had 10 risked everything. That is the teaching. That when somebody invests, even if it's a bank or whatever it is, it takes the risk of losing everything. Do we agree, right? To invest has the risk of losing the investment. The most sure thing, which is what the guy says, the one that has one, is I saved it because I didn't want something to happen to it. I will protect it. I'd have to be crazy to risk for it to be stolen, or because something would happen or something happens. No, you gave it to me. I'll save it. I'll hide it. It is hidden. And Yeshua comes and he says, out with you. You worthless servant. You're no good. Absolutely no good. Cut his head off. That's ugly, right? Take him out. Those who have 10, he risked everything. He says, here's my 10. I'll risk it. And what he got, he won everything. Those who have 5, same thing. He risked everything that he had. He didn't risk something. He risked everything that he had. Look at what happens to many of you. You have never risked anything. You don't risk anything. You're in this comfort zone, and you say in your mind, I'll keep this. It's not even to get this. It's not even to enough to eat. I have to restrict myself. Is that a word? To restrict myself in what I eat, in how I dress, in what I give my children. I don't have any money, not even for tithes. Exactly. Exactly. So then it's very restricted in his mind. It's very restricted. How is he gonna do a bet? I mean, he have to be crazy. I'm gonna just handle the little that I have with that mentality. With that mentality, you'll never obtain the greatest government of something superior. Yeshua said, if you're unfaithful in the little, I'm not gonna place them anywhere. If you're faithful in the little, you'll be faithful in the many. So then, the fidelity goes together hand in hand with the risking and the bet and the inversion. It's always together. And when one is faithful, you risk and you invest in something. This is an investment. This is an investment. But you, many of you, when I say you, I'm not saying you, those don't have any problem with this, but you who still have doubts, you haven't ordered it, that's you, not those of the others. Not you, but you that didn't even write to me. That's you. You don't risk anything you see with your short vision and say, I'm a poor employee. I'm barely getting by. I don't live in the U.S., in the land where you gather together in shovelfuls. Of course, actor goes and he works and he earns $2,000 an hour. I don't live there. I live in a place that I can barely eat. I can barely survive. I have to really struggle. So then that is the servant that they give him something. He puts it away. He doesn't invest it. He doesn't risk anything. He doesn't have that mentality of risking. And I'm saying, is that the mentality of a ring? The one that puts away and doesn't risk anything? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So then what am I teaching with this? A parable. That those that you're understanding is something it goes way past what you sometimes see through your short eyesight. If you were to say in your heart, tell the truth, I don't earn that well, and that goes for everyone. I don't earn that well. I barely survive. I barely get by, and that goes for a group. The second group, I barely survive, and I don't even have enough to give tithes, not even to give an offering every now and then. I also don't have enough for that. And there's the others, but even those that don't tithe, they say, I want to have this because I feel that it's the maximum thing there is. So I'm going to do everything. There are many in that group that never gave tithes, but they risked it to place their inversion because this is an investment. Their investment. But there is a great group that say, no, not me. Tell the truth, I'm okay the way I am. And they write to me, no. Tell the truth, I'm fine the way I am. I'm not going to risk anything. I'm not used to buying something and to be in debt. I can't. Exactly. That is the way. That's very small-minded of thinking like a king. A king invests permanently. A king makes everything bigger. You know how you have to think? You have to think. This is a daring for me. It's a challenge. I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. $200. And if I have my wife and three other children, it's $1,000. Because $200 for us is nothing, actually. No matter your situation, it's nothing. You can get $200. But of course, if you tell me $1,000, it gets a little more difficult, right? $1,000, you say $1,000. I'm living in Guatemala. Fine. I live in, I don't know, Venezuela and Argentina, Venezuela, they're all hand in hand. Argentina and Venezuela, how the fuck am I going to get $1,000? I mean, this guy's got to be Chris. You know how the dollar, the black dollar, the official dollar.
I'm just asking, okay? Just hypothetically speaking, if we are the ones that gift the ring to the followers, what would happen if that which is so real, the very same power, would come from the choosing of the one that gave it to you?
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically speaking, of course, we don't know, but Yahweh maybe is the one that gives the power to everyone.
Exactly.
But what would happen if it's as real as the one that gave you the ring, who knows you, is it?
If we continue on the way we've done everything, it is clear that it'll come through that order without even speaking.
I mean, I'm just saying, right? There's nothing written in stone.
The thing is that everything that we've been seeing is going to be fulfilled through what's established. If Yahweh skips the order,
What if it's us who have to choose them?
I mean, there's that possibility that's very clear and evident if we have to choose everyone.
Wow, then rather be careful.
Oh, yeah, they better. That's the way it's going to be. I mean, you asked me that, but I'll tell you, Yahweh's not going to skip the order of command. Yahweh does the same scheme for everyone. The teaching, the white stone, the hidden manna. And it says, no, I'll give them the power. Just like that. That would be something which does not go with way modus operandi.
Taking into account that you don't know them, but we would have to know them even more.
And I understand that if Yahweh gives us a power, we will know them. We will know them. If Yahweh gives us the power, of course, if they give us a special power, then the things that we don't know, we will know. So then, and the other thing is that if we gift you the ring, actually, it would not even be your decision to obtain it. It says, I also want it. In fact, I want 2 or 3. I mean, if they're gifts, you see? No, absolutely not. It is a commitment. It is a commitment, as it is said in Spanish, with us, not even with Yahweh. Because you don't owe the money to Yahweh. See, if you think that way, I owe it to God. No. Yahweh doesn't receive money, just like he doesn't send you the ring physically. But Yahweh works. And how does he work? I'm going to explain it to you. For the obtuse minds, the hard-headed ones, that maybe I'm wasting my time because it's not enough for you. I don't know. Force them to enter, he says. Yeshua says, force them to enter. Who said that? Yeah, Yeshua said that. Yes, of course. Obviously, I understand, Leslie. It's so clear. I'm with you. Force them to enter, the servants, the witnesses, and all the rest. Okay. So then, that wasn't the point about if you say, I don't have anything, I could not get into the commitment. So then you stay in your comfort zone and you don't do anything, not even for you, no investment nor anything. You're in the position of gathering and putting away the talent that it was given to you. So then in your comfort zone, you don't risk it. You know what it is? What is applied in these words, how they should be? No. You've told me that I can order it. I'm going to order it. But not just order it. By ordering it, there comes a compromise and a promise. And I ask Yahweh, you have to pray with Yahweh and speak with Yahweh. Now, I want for you to bless me. I want you to give me an idea to do something that I've never done before. For example, aside from risking, if you had risked, you'd be in a different situation, that is clear. Because if you were people that risk it, you were a different person of economical situation. I tell to you right now, record this phrase: if you don't risk anything, you don't earn anything. If you don't risk anything, you don't earn. So then, if you're people that have risked from the very beginning of your life in changing from work and doing something that is wrong, even if it's wrong until it turns out well, those are the ones that have success. Those that don't risk in a economical level, you will never have anything. Those who risk are the ones that earn. So then, if you say in your mind, for the very first time in history, it's still the truth, if I never risked anything, I'll always have the same thing. I'm always trying to survive with what I have and never see any solution. I'm a thing like a king. Of course, I want the rings, not just for me, but for everything that is my lineage that wants, not for my grandmother, my mom that doesn't believe shit. No, for my lineage that believes in this. Then I'm going to order it and also ask Yahweh for him to make me a little more intelligent, more risk taker that I'm not, and I'll give all my will to see what I can do, even if it's what I've never done. I don't know. I'm gonna some sandwiches. This is ideas that is where it starts to anything else, and I'm gonna sell them. I'm gonna start selling them. I'm gonna do an effort, make an effort. The women, I'm gonna make an effort. I'm gonna do something, and I'm gonna offer it for sale. You can't imagine how Elohim will give you the buyers, and they'll send all your product. Why? Because it is those that don't risk that don't earn, and when one works in this about risking with Yahweh, Yahweh responds in a very fantastic way. Past than that, he never asked because you've never risked anything, since you are a person that are logical and that you don't have enough. Why is something illogical and come to you so that you have extra? It's impossible. It's impossible. You have to go out of that mentality. You have to go out from what your eyes see as a possibility. You have to create the possibilities that you've never imagined, because you have a square mind and you can't go out from the way of thinking that you're poor and that you have to gather garbage to eat. It's as simple as that. But when one risk and they ask Elohim for wisdom to do something, something more protective than what you've ever done in your fucking life ever, I've been working something. I want more. Why? Because now I have a compromise, a commitment. I want it because I want to pay for it. That's when Elohim says, wow, I'm going to bless this guy. Of course I'm going to bless him. Of course he was always been miserable. I'm going to bless him if he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything more for me to bless him. So then now, yes, he asks for it. Now that he has his antenna, what am I going to do? There are things that I have to sell. I'm going to start to sell things that I have to sell. I'm going to look for things and reselling them. I have something, I'm going to go out and buy it, and I'm going to go and sell it. Just anything. I'm not saying go and apply. You're not a lawyer. Don't try to be a lawyer. No. Sales. So that's the secret. The sellers, they do not starve to death ever. You know why? Because the sellers, they sell themselves. The first thing they taught me. Before selling product, you sell yourself. Sell yourself. Once you sell yourself, you can sell anything else. Just like that, you can sell anything else you have. And if you have a good product and you sold yourself, you sell it at whatever price you want, because you created a need of having something that they don't have. So then you have to create the need of something that people don't have. That they don't have the fucking idea that they have the need of something. So there's the seller. Look, your life, it's impossible without this product that I have to offer you. It's impossible. Just like a knight, a true seducer, it's impossible for the other person to live without him. Here I am, right now, because you haven't known me. Some seducer male would say, now that I present you and I sell myself, you're going to say it's impossible to live without me. So then that is the secret to sell anything. So then if you have the mind of selling anything, Yahweh will multiply it to you, but you need to move your ass, or else you won't do a thing. That's why you're always in the same thing with a little job, struggling, that they kick you out, and you have to put your hand down, and you have to wear the mask, of course, because I can't. Sell. Sell yourselves, and then sell something, actually. Ask Yahweh for wisdom. So then, when you do that commitment, you're going to pay for not just the ring, that now you find impossible to pay, but actually going to have a lot more money. Because with the ring, you have an investment, and a brutal investment, that I can assure you today. Those who have the ring, they start to be blessed already. Because they have in their mind a purpose. It is something marvelous like that. My position, it is to educate you. Because if you're going to be kings, you can't start as servants. You have to think like kings. So then, start to think like kings. Another parable. Where was I? I was in the... Okay, here, let's go to the pearl of the great price. A person that does not order the ring, it is because they don't see that it's a pearl of the great value. Point. Final. Full stop. Other doubts, he says it is so, but of course, what do we want you here for? If you think that what I'm saying is not true, then, don't even dare to ask for it. because it's not going to be good at all for you. But if you believe in what comes out from this mouth, it is the Spirit speaking unto the churches. If you believe everything which the eternal truth has said and has taught, this is the pearl of the great price. You have to sell, everything to obtain it. When a merchant sees the great value in the pearl, doesn't stop to think, how much money I'm going to work to see if I buy it. He's not going to buy it. He can't buy it. The merchant can't. What does the merchant have to do? Sell everything that he has. Everything that he has to obtain that pearl of the great price. If you consider that this is a pearl of great price as it is, do not doubt in doing whatever you have to do. You cannot say, I'm going to gather money together. The merchant doesn't say, I'm going to gather money together. The merchant says what? What does he say? I'm going to sell it. What did I just teach you? Sales is the secret. Start to sell everything. Just like that, everything start to sell. To buy the eternal truth. What does the scripture say? And from there on out is where we have the nomina and the eternal truth. Buy the truth and sell it not. You know that from that text. That's when Gabriel inspired himself. He told us the name of this ministry. The eternal truth. Buy the truth. The rest of you, sell even your mother. What I say? Even sell your mother, who gave you only lies, just in order to buy the eternal truth. Yeshua, which are we. Yeshua, which is the Mashiach, which is the Spirit, says, I recommend that you buy from me, because you are, aside from being an idiot, you are, aside from an complete idiot, aside from being stingy. There's another word for it. What's the other one? Avarice. You're miserable. Well, those are the words that Yeshua uses. I don't want to miss out on this. Let's see what Yeshua says about this. He says as follows. He says, you think you're rich, he says, and that you've enriched yourself and you don't have any need for nothing. You don't know that you are a miserable fool, poor, blind, and naked. And are naked. What? Therefore, I advise you that from me you buy gold refined in fire, that you are rich, in white robes to dress yourself, and for your nakedness to not be shown, and by oil I reprehend and I punish all those that I love. Be therefore jealous and repent. That's why my words are heard now, because what's it say? I reprehend and I punish all those whom I love. Be therefore thou jealous and repent. Repent from saying I don't have any money, but you have to repent today. Today is the day. Today you have to repent. Unto him that overcometh, I'll make him sit with me in my throne. Remember, Yahweh's not speaking here. It's not Yahweh, but it's the Spirit. He says, if you overcome, you will sit with me in the throne of the Mashiach. Just like I have overcome and I've sat with my Father in the throne. Him that hath ears, hear, listen to what the Spirit saith unto the churches. So then, the parable of the pearl of the great price, him that wants it has to sell it. They have to sell it. There's no excuse to say, I am poor, I'm here. No. You have a compromise, a commitment, and the moment in which you make the commitment, you go out and look to see what you're going to sell. First thing you have to sell is yourself, and the second thing is your mother, and the third, everything that you have, and to produce something to sell or to buy to sell. Aside from what you do, and you won't be able to imagine, you're not going to be able to believe the result, the incredible result. You won't believe it. Because it's not about money for the commitment of the ring. It is money for you. You're going to say, how did Christian not offer this to us before? He changed my way of thinking. It is part of the instruction. Others that listen to me, of course, they're not going to change, of course. But I was saying here, what's it say here? It reads as follows. So then, this resurrected, I'm going to start again because you're going to forget what I just said. Revelation 7:9. After this, I saw a great multitude which no one could count, out of all the nations, tribes, peoples, and tongues that were before the throne and in the presence of the Lamb, dressed with white robes and with palms in their hands. It is the sign of triumph. And they cried out with great voice, saying, the salvation belongs to our God, which is seated in the throne that doesn't do anything. He's just sitting in his wheelchair. And to the Lamb. These two thousands upon thousands of people, these 144,000, these people that were sealed and resurrected, that are dressed with white robes and they have palms in their hands, they see and they look unto two leaders, Yahweh, which is sitting on the throne, and the Lamb. And what else does it say? And all the angels that were standing on foot around the throne and the four living beings, they fell on their faces before the throne and they worshiped God, saying the blessing, the glory, and the wisdom, and the thanksgiving, and the honor, and the power, and the fortress be unto our God forever and ever. Amen. And so then here comes the question. I'm saying, okay, everything is fine, and it's all symbolic and everything, but where did these guys come from? Where the fuck did they come from? John says, how do I know? What do I know? How am I going to know? I don't know anything. You tell me, because you're the ones that knows that I'm in the vision, I'm seeing something. You tell me, where do they come from? So then the angel says, the Ancient of Days says, look, these are the ones that came from the Great Tribulation. In another translation, directly says, these are the ones that resurrected. These are the ones that died and resurrected in the Great Tribulation. And it's the same thing then. A true sealing, or a true sealing, it is equal to resurrection. Very well. That's why we haven't advanced in the subject, because I have to explain so many things. So then the parables, most of them are applied to this symbol that's so important, which is the ring. This so important symbol. And that now we've noticed that they are bones. The bones of the dead that are going to receive life. And this is the ring of life. The ring of the resurrection. It could all be the ring of love. We need a letter there. Or live. Also, you know that these, in English, this is just by chance. These, in English, if we can write an O, it says love. Love. If we add an E, an I, it says live. Live. The ring of living. The ring of living. The ring of living. Live. Or also live. Whatever, depending on what I'm trying to say, because I'm live right now. And if you write it with an I, it's live. I am live. I am live. Just like something magnificent, an Iron Maiden, something recorded live of all times. Live. In LVE, after death. It'll be good because it's live after death. Is the original live after death. We could say LVE after death. Live after death. So then, even in English, these letters mean love, mean live, they mean life. Although life is life, but it's the same word. Life. Live. To live. I'm living. I am living, it means life. That is not by chance. It is the ring of the resurrection. I just showed it to you. Something which is new for you that are starting to understand what this is. And we're in the period of the handing out of this white stone, the white stone of life. So then you already know. Those that have understood my message that didn't understand, don't you worry at all. Don't you worry your little heart. I'm not speaking to you. Think that I'm crazy, absolutely crazy, and I have a incredible business with a terrible headache, even if I pay the $200 myself, the business that I'm doing, because, tell the truth, sometimes stop to think every day, am I doing what's right? Because in the end of it all, it's a nightmare. Everything is to deal with the addresses, to deal with all the aspects of that they don't arrive, that to deal with everything, it's lots of work. We understand that it is the work that we have to do. It is the work that was prophesied, and we do it with lots of joy, with lots of passion. If there weren't any passion, we wouldn't do it with passion. Passion, unmeasurable passion, only possible and only done by a group of Argentinians. That passion that is overflowing, that you say, but these guys are really crazy, because people look at the Argentinians and say, this guy, completely out of place. Absolutely out of place. That's the way we are. That's why we are all of LVE. We leave what is rationality, and we turn this into passion. Passion of Yeshua. People understand what the passion of Yeshua is, but we're absolutely passionate in what we do, and absolutely passionate in what I say. Those who understood, act. And act this week. Because even if you take 2 or 3 months to receive it, act. Because actually, we don't know when the time is. So then, that is what I wanted to tell you. Very well. Moving on. Let us advance. I'd like to remind you that Angelina's consult, it's a consult of New Germanic Medicine, and that it is absolutely free for all those who have any problems and they'd like to know and find the root of the problem, how it happened, what you're living through and going through, and how to adjust it, and how to start the solution thereof, what to look for, what to change, what to change in your mind, precisely the eternal truth, which is live, which is love, which is life. We have the best service in the world, and to top it off, it's free to see where your problems are. So then, don't doubt. Angelina is absolutely a marvelous star that will listen to you. That should be enough already. She will listen to you. She will listen to you, to see what you have, to listen to what hurts. Because the pain begins in action that you've done against us, or that we've done ourselves. And by saying it, by confessing it, yes, you have to go and confess. We have the priest. The priest is Angelina, and you have to go to the confession box. Yeah, the confessional. That's how we ended up. Angelina's consult, it is the confessionary, the confession room. The confession room. Okay. In the eternal truth, we have the confessional. We're more than Catholic. You have to confess your sins here. Not with me. I don't want to listen to you. With Angelina. Angelina is the priest that cures you. So then since we believe in just any genders, we have a female priest, and her name is Angelina. Angelina is the priest, or the reverend, the female reverend, as we order women also. And she has a confessional booth where you have to confess your pains, your sins, to be able to free you and have the cure. She will say you how many Ave Marias and Hail Marys that you have to do. Of course, she will tell you what you have to do, and sometimes it's difficult, but you have to do it. Yeah, if you want to obtain forgiveness of your sins, then call the confessional booth of our Reverend Angelina. Very well. Just to understand, because otherwise, if you don't understand, no one understands a thing. Absolutely no one understands, and maybe they don't want to confess their sins. They don't want to confess them. They don't want to confess their sins. Okay, very well. And the sins are transgressions unto the law. If something affects you, it's because you transgressed the laws of Hummer. But of course, I tell it to you right now, she's a specialist in your transgressions. We have transgressed the law. We have sinned, and we are sick. We need to confess ourselves with the priest. And here she is. Exactly. If you confess your sins before Angelina, you will be absolved and free, but you have to confess. Kneel down and confess them unto God. You won't resolve anything. You have to confess them unto the priest. Tell to you right now. Okay, maybe somebody listened to me that's new. This is this guy. I mean, what is the eternal truth become? I mean, I speak in parables. You understand. That's what's beautiful about this and what's fun in our video. So you understand. So you understand. Very well. Absolutely well. Another question about the children. They asked me, well, I've told you 5, but you can ask us 7, but someday they'll grow. When this is fulfilled, I wouldn't say something stupid here. It's not stupid, really. But the day that this is fulfilled and it has an effect, this will adjust to your own personal size. It'll only be a special ring, whether it is adjusted or not. Of course, it's a ring. The word is ugly, because it's a lot more than this. It is a ring that is magical, a super... I was going to say something more than magical, a powerfully magical ring. Just like the Lord of the Rings, a marvelous one. Now it's deactivated. You buy it, deactivate it in the appropriate time. In the choosing, like Leslie said, the ring will be activated, and when the ring is activated, those bones that you see there, it is the power to resurrect bones. Wow. This I don't believe anything. Well, if you don't believe anything, it doesn't matter. Then go and watch another video. Don't waste time with me. Let's say so many stupid things like the ones that you're saying now. And with those terms speaking, you worship God. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. Well, I'd like to remind you that many videos, or maybe all of our videos, are in Odyssey channel that I never mentioned. Odyssey, and also in Rumble. Odyssey channel is in the description of the video. You're watching this video now. Click where it says see more or show more, and aside from our reverend and the confessional booth, which is Angelina, Angelina's confessional booth. In her Facebook, you're going to find that Odysseys and Rumble, aside from your investment for life, for LVE, for the love, move your ass. Do something. Don't stay there in your comfort. I'm saying, no. If you have love for this ministry, all that are subscribed to this, subscribe to the other ones. You have more than 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. I should have the very same. If you listen to me in Odyssey and in Rumble, even if you don't see the videos there, it is only so that Yahweh blesses you. Because if you don't do anything, of course, then you have the situation that you have. If I tell you, go to Odyssey, go to Rumble, subscribe to those videos, and leave a video playing there, so that maybe you have another one. Do something. Elohim doesn't do anything. Elohim inspires and does key things. The rest says no. This is your responsibility. Just like, for example, the message unto you, it didn't get to you because of Elohim. If you say, God gave me this message, you're lying. If you believe in the eternal truth, it was given to you by the eternal truth. It didn't come in dreams, a video of the eternal truth, and you stop to think in a special reproducer. No, of course not. Absolutely not. All you see, everything that you learn and see, it is the work of men. It is so. When Yahweh actually did something and not just destroy, because to destroy things, He is the best one, as the people before the flood, or the people in the 5 cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. To destroy, Yahweh's the best. But to build and all the rest, oh, you do it. You do it. He had to come as a man to build. He had to come as a man to build. And that, no, he didn't write anything. Everything that we have about him are just he said, she said of 2,000 years later. What if they wrote things correctly? We know that many things are not written correctly because amongst them there's so many contradictions amongst themselves. So then Yahweh doesn't do anything. If we understand this, is the one that wrote it. Men have translated it, and men have added things, but it's all work of man. It's not some angel that came and printed this book for you. No, absolutely not. So then, start to work a little bit. Do something for this ministry. Sub, give like. Let's see how many likes do we have. Which we're gonna have 40,000 subjects of seals, trumpets, and plagues. Parts of the things. How many likes we have? Let's see. There is 259 likes and 283 watching. So there's a whole bunch of people watching. They don't even want to make an effort to give us a thumbs up. Maybe you don't like it. There's many that don't like it. That's true. But they watch either way. They take the time of saying, I don't like this. But those that like it, how many are you? At least those that don't like it, because they're so angry, they work and says, I don't like this. And those who do like it, work. Do something. And that is applied also to what I've spoken about the ring. Very well. Shemah Israel, YHWH Eloheinu, YHWH Ekhad. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim, our God, Yahweh is only one person. It is not two. Doesn't have a divine son. That with that he did whatever he wanted, and he created the universe, and then he sent him to die while he was watching. None of that exists. It only exists in the mind of the people that read and are not God's. Why? Because the scripture is written for the kings. It's written for everyone, but the kings are only those that can understand what is written. Yesterday, a person wrote to me, very out of place. That was in the Eternal Truth, and in 2012 they left. Very upset for many motives. Very upset. And then after leaving, yesterday, 11 years later, he writes to me. And they write to me, and I thought he was just saying hi, but he wrote something like, I don't know. I didn't pay too much attention. He said, hi. How many years that I didn't know anything about you? And he says, it's been many years, but I'm still embittered with what you did to me. You ruined my life. He says, but now I found the true God. He says, now I follow Emmanuel Bashejos, that idiot that learned with us, some complete idiot that learned with us that there is only one God, which I kicked him out when he said Jesus is not God. And then they got together with some other guys from Leandro Pena. Pena means shame, so then they all are really shameless that were Argentinian. And some other guy that died already, he was put to rest. And all these people follow the Father and his Son. So then I said, but I mean, what happened to you? No, that your teachings, this and that. And I said, do you watch any videos? I was treating him like a friend while he insulted me. Do you watch any videos of the last ones that the Eternal Truth has presented? He says, what the fuck am I going to watch a video? I mean, I'd have to be crazy. Your subjects up until 2012 ruined me already. No, I watched the videos of the true preachers. Emmanuel Vallejos. Only one God, because you've never understood that there's only one God, he said, and only one Lord. So then, I'm thinking, I shouldn't say the name, right? Shouldn't say the name. Because he was a friend of he was kind of from the other team. But being from the other team, playing for the other team completely, those that go backwards or that shoot from behind. Well, how could I say this? those that shoot with left that are on the other side, on the other team. So then they have their mind changed because they had a DHS that was deep. So then their brain was changed to a woman, so they think like a woman. And they are hurt emotionally. Okay, they speak to me like if it was a woman, but a woman that's so hurt, and also a woman that was rejected. The pain that I feel, 11 years, he still feels pain. But I said, but you already found the true God. He says, yes, but the wickedness you did to me, you're going to have to pay for it. And I said, why so much pain? I mean, you have to learn to leave your shame and sadness. Are you saying that I am bitter? I mean, you're the worst garbage. I said, I'm not saying it. I'm saying it for your own good. Look, I think it's all fine with you. I said, I like for you to greet me. It's all fine. I wish you the best. I wish you the best, friend. It's all great. Tell the truth. Even worse, he says, I wish you the worst, he said to me. Are you sure you found the true God? I wish you the worst. He said, the worst. The worst. He says, tell the truth. A deceiver, satanic like you. I said, man, you're all right in everything. Maybe I'm so wrong, but that no, I wish you the best. Tell the truth, I don't want there to be a bad vibe between us. Is no, so many years and I still feel that anger. But good thing that my only God and his Lord Jesus Christ helped me to get over it. Apparently he's not helping you so much to get over it. Right, of course. A person like that would have to go to the confessional booth with Angelina. You know how much it would help this guy? Wow, she could really help him. It would work like, do you remember that guy that used to work from a company? You know how they call the stewardesses in the plane? And so he was from the other team. I said, what God did you find that you live so bitter? I wish you the best. I feel great for you. He says, no, to top it off. I said, well, what else could I tell you? I'm going to tell you something else. That I also believe in what you said, that there's only one God and only one Lord. And we also believe in Paul. And it even got worse. Of course, he used to think that I used to hate Paul, and he left after having rejected Paul. He didn't even know what to tell me. And he said, tell the truth, go on your path, and find what you deserve in the hell. And I gave him a little heart. Of course, I believe in the same thing. There's only one God, only one Lord. I mean, it's great. This guy is playing with me. Is he crazy? It's just that we have different concepts of what the Shemah is. Different concepts. Believe what Paul says. There's only one God and only one Lord. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The thing is, who is that Lord? That's where we start. Who is that Lord? Who is it? And of course, he's going to have only one Lord. He will have one. Have a Lord and a God. I find that perfectly well. And that Lord, he said, I didn't tell him anything, but I really want for him to risk to see what we write about. But I know it's not for everyone. It has to come from him. It has to be born out of his own heart. Maybe he was surprised with what I answered. He was mostly surprised because he was just insulting me and offending me. And he said, it's all fine with you. I'm glad that you're doing well. Because to top it off, he had AIDS. Well, I'll rephrase that. He had been told that he had that. We know, like Hammer said, that doesn't exist. What does exist is many conflicts at once, of course. Many conflicts that are, if you solve them, anything could disappear. No such thing appears with like that virus that I want to mention now. Of course, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. What does exist is the great lie, the very great lie, of making you believe and making you take stuff that they give you. So then I say in my mind, how would this person benefit with what we know about the eternal truth. It would be something so great, so great. Instead of following stupid, idiot things from some idiot that is going around saying that Jesus is not God, that he's the Son. Oh, how stupid thing. Instead of benefiting about, he's still reading L.G. Watt and all the rest. I mean, top it off, you know why he's so embittered? It's because of that. Because this whole religion, whether it's Trinitarian or Binitarian, it is complete bitterness. They live with such weight upon them and with actual rancor and guilt. And of course, they live like that. I am the one to blame of all your evils, and they are a victim. The eternal truth makes you free, makes you free, makes you a God. The eternal truth makes you a God. Understand as well. And today, while I taught you with what I've taught you, I should already shut this down, because I teach you things that are so absolutely magnificent that there's no need to even speak anymore. I want you to open your mind for you to actually be a God on earth, just like that. A God on earth, not a servant that thinks that he can't do a thing. A God, and when you're God, you say, I can do whatever. I mean, the first thing is to sell. First thing is to sell. To sell. Because we've already bought the truth. To sell. That is what God sold us. He sold us the Torah. We didn't like it. He sold us shit. God sold everything. We have to buy. You have to learn to sell, because God sells. God sells. What I teach you is something magnificent, and to top it off, and make you free by understanding what precisely everything that due to all these years we developed. Speaking about how we avoided, I mean, we didn't even avoid anything. We didn't even have to dodge it. The problem about the pandemic, or however it's called, jerkly, we avoided it, because with this, I don't have any success with these guys. Why? Because we knew how to buy the hidden manna. Speaking about that, I cannot advance without speaking to you about the documentary that we had. The documentary to cause about the king that never was. How was the documentary? The king without a kingdom, the king that never was. What was it called? The Prince. The Prince that never was. The Prince that never was. The Prince that never was. That's the way it's called. And it would be called the Prince. In Italian, it said something about. What do you think about the documentary? We watched the documentary. All four of us watched it. Obviously, we were bound. We had to do things like that, watching the documentary. And I thought it was boring. It was my opinion. Okay, Leslie loved it. Brian at the end, he says, I'm out of here. I'm already bored. But I think everybody watched it. Angelina also liked it. But I'm going to give my opinion. The one sitting here is me, so it's my turn. So then my opinion, I thought it was boring. Top it off. First of all, certain 2 or 3 things called my attention that I didn't know. I understood why the guy, what I understood, because I know you never thought about this. It's most probable thing, but I understand the prince. Why? I understand it clearly. You say, oh, what a son of a bitch. No, none of that. I understood it and felt what he felt. I'm going to explain to you because you didn't understand. If someone understood, well, I don't know. You're so used to dog shit about the places you live in, the ghettos you live in. The prince had been the son of the king of Italy. And he was the one to the crown, the heir to the crown. So because of the Second World War and Mussolini and all that, he had to leave. He went to some islands in France. It was called the Isle of Cavallo. And the Cavallo Island, they were next to Italy. It's the border between Italy or France. Some of you here watch the documentary. Okay, that's great. No one watches. That's great. You play the role well. Fine. There's more important things. I'm sure there's things that are more important. If I ask you, why didn't you watch it? Oh, we watched this or that. Okay, moving on. Okay. So then they took him out of his house, and just with what he was wearing, and they obligated the king to depose his kingdom, and the prince, who was called, what was his name? The prince? The name. What was his name? Emmanuel, which means God is with us. Emmanuel. Emmanuel Victor of Segovia. Of Saboya, not Segovia. Saboya, we changed everybody's name here. Emmanuel, which means God with us. Victor, which is victory, precisely the victory of God with us. Of Saboya, and Saboya, I don't know what it means. It's all fine, it's all fine. I could care less about that. What I'm about to explain this is as follows for those of you who watched it so that you can rethink this. When one, Nieto de Isabel, also the nephew of the red children, it's a whole mixture, but that wasn't the reason of why. You have to understand that the guy, they had taken his lands away. They had taken him out of his throne in Italy. They made him live deported in a country. And they gave him a zone, like a small kingdom where the guy could live in peace, right? And he married a woman that apparently he loved her because the dad said, I'm going to disinherit you because you married her. She was a Swiss woman and she was the queen of a very pretty woman and they loved each other. There was no arrangement because it was not convenient for him to marry her. The father got so upset against the princess. No, I'm going to take everything away. You have to choose someone, either your cousin, someone from the royalty. You can't marry one because you like her. So there's a very good couple. That documentary made my mind change. All of you. I mean, I see that all of you. What a son of a bitch! It's dog shit. No, for me, fantastic. What I saw, as a judge. Okay, as a judge, the guy was a guy. Even if he was Mason, whatever you want. What I saw about the guy, he was a guy, a common of that category. But what happened? What was it? What impulsed him to trigger? One day, a group of Italian rich kids, they were all people of power. They came to take vacations to a place next to where he lived, in the Cavallo Island, this prince. So then they said, hey, let's go and explore. And they had met a girl. The girl was the daughter of Hammer's daughter, a very pretty model. And these rich guys of lots of money, they were all young guys. People that had good money, I mean, just really rich children. They saw her and said, hey, you're very pretty. It says that they're all Casanovas, people that are there just to romance women and get whatever they want. So then they became friends with her because she was pretty, just because she was pretty. And say, hey, come with us. We're going to go to another place and we're going to stay a couple days there. Will they come with us? She went and asked the dad permission. The dad said no. The mother said no, directly not. But then they said, well, if I send Dirk with you, the brother, if I send Dirk with you, which was the older brother, then I'll let you go. But you have to both go together. So says, my dad lets me go with you guys. Like 30 or 50 guys, I can't remember. Guys. I'll let you go with them. So then she showed up, and Dirk was apparently too charismatic, very sympathetic, very good person. Dirk Hammer was. That's where you have the DHS, Dirk Hammer syndrome. So then they went. The girl, the guy, was 18 years old, was it? He was 18. And the girl, 17. She was a minor. 16 or 17. So then they went with this whole gang of rich children to go fuck around, to drink alcohol, to do what kids do, the rich guys. Not just any kids. Kids that go without their parents with boats and everything. And they ended up in the Cavallo Islands. When these boats got there with these people, the prince didn't like that a lot. And he went around them with marking his territory. I analyze everything. The guy marking his territory saying, who are these guys? What do they come here? I live in peace. I don't bother people. I don't want people, visitors. And the effect happened that I felt many times. It's just that I'm not so crazy for now as a prince. But I felt what he felt. When my neighbors come, especially Latino neighbors, that I wouldn't want to have any Latinos close, not even one. I would want for them to be, I don't know. I would prefer, well, there's good Latinos, but the Americans, the good class, and I'm not talking about white trash, because there's trash out there. But Americans in this area, they know their place. They don't put their music loud. You don't see any garbage. You don't see parties. A Latino comes. I'm going to say almost always Mexican, but not always Mexican, but some Latino. And it's all in the same bag. And the first thing they do, they buy a house where an American family lives, and 3 or 4 families live there already. To start off something that I hate. I hate it with all my whole soul. It would be dog shit. That's first of all. Second of all the little children and all the old elders, they like to listen to music. And the worst music, which is all the Latin music, which I hate. Actually, something that I hate all the music of banda. What else? The corridos. It's something I'd rather die. I don't want to listen to the trumpet. I go crazy. I don't want to listen to that. None of that. I don't want to listen to it. This is for a mind. I don't want to offend anyone that likes that dog shit. I'll offend you either way because it's dog shit. If you like banda, you should not be here. If you like banda, if you like corridos, I kick you out of my court just like that. I tell you right now, because I can't stand that music. Can't stand it. I can't even listen to it. Just to think about it, look at how I get. For them to sort the trumpet, well, I go crazy. I get crazy, absolutely crazy. I could close all my windows, which I put double panel windows. They're not common windows. They're a crystal, a space, and then another glass. And I still hear boom, 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 boom. I don't care if it's. You've heard it here, right? Look at how I get. I have to calm down. I have to have a tea. That's why I understand this prince. Of course, I understand them. I understand them. So the neighbors come, and the women come with their tight pants and dressed like ass, but they don't even know how to wear their makeup. So then they come to their parties, and then the musicians, and I see the trumpets already, and I said, oh, I would break those trumpets. Tell the truth. And they come dressed like clowns. You want to have some authentic Christian, or I'll shut everything down. I can't present this to you saying, I don't like it a lot. No, the authentic Christian hates even how the fuck they dress those that play that music with this red and white with some boots. Those boots, I would shove them up their ass. I mean, I can't understand it. All of you like that music, then leave today, because in court, I'll kick you out. Angeline would say, how are you going to do that? And say that, because I was saying that, tell the truth, yes. Tell the truth, yes. I don't even want one of you left like that. And I see someone dressed like this, a son of a bitch like this, with a ridiculous sombrero. I could give a fuck if it's authentic Mexican. Shove that stupid fucking sombrero up your ass. Some sombrero like this. What sons of bitches? If you can't listen to me, don't listen to me. That's fine. That's fine. Don't listen to me. Be authentic always. Any little dress of music, Mexican music, Latin, Guatemalan, or whatever the fuck it might be, I don't want to see him close to my house. So then I felt what the prince felt. In a different ambient. Of course, I'm breaking the heart to so many. Go fuck off to the cunt that bore you, because we're not going to get along. We're not going to get along. That's what happens. We're not going to get along, because they say, I'll explain it again. They go down to the birthday party, have music till 2 a.m., some music that I don't want to listen to it, but I hate it, with a type of people that I hate, with a dressing that I hate, with a whole ambient that I hate, and to end up fucking it up, they leave all the beer cans, things that I have to go and pick up because they leave beer cans, bottles, and even condoms I found, and so you say this paper, just toilet paper, I have to pick it up because that's Latinos, that's the Latino in you, not in me, in you. Just like that, I could give a fuck. They clean their ass and they leave it everywhere. That's how the Latinos are. They're never going to be kings. Ever, ever. Or judges. Because to top it off is excellence. We're talking about excellence before anything. Because maybe you're deceiving yourself. And if you're like that, you're going to advance until they kick your ass and says, where the fuck is your white robe? Here it is, here it is. What do you like? I like the what? What you say? Turn around. Well, so then maybe I cost so many DHSs. Nothing of what I'm saying is a joke. Why are you laughing? Why the fuck are you laughing? I'm being serious. Don't laugh. Don't laugh. Of course, I'm going to say something idiotic. I would prefer for them to put reggaeton before listening banda. I die. It kills me. And reggaeton, it also upsets me, but the other one makes me almost a murderer. So then, sometimes it crosses my mind to grab something like this and point where the sound is coming from, and to think that I'm gonna hit their speakers and blow up all their speakers, and also the trumpets and the trombone. And don't get me started with the drums. So then, just like that, and that all of a sudden, they'll be like, hey, what happened? Our speakers are broken. That right there, tell the truth, is what you feel. That is what you feel. I felt it. If you don't feel it, it's because you're used to dog shit. But I'm not used to dog shit, see? And I'll never be used to dog shit. That's why I protest. I'm protesting when I have a neighbor like that. I protest. I'd like to leave out of here, but I'm bound. I'd like to leave the fuck out of here until I'm bound, until I'm let loose. Now you can see a little bit of my anger. If they let me loose, what am I going to do with all the Mexican bandas? You're going to see what I'm going to do when I am let loose, for example. So then the prince, when this whole Italian group came over, to the other only restaurant that was next to him, says that they caused havoc. They laughed, they were drinking alcohol, an effect that the guy didn't like. What did these people do here? If I live in peace here. He was bringing up his children, his wife. He didn't bother anyone. All these idiots. When I say pendejos, I mean these punks. And then they all went to sleep in the ships. So the guy grabbed the rifle. He got close by. I didn't understand why he was shooting. I could imagine. The guy must have been lit.
Now, eyewitnesses say that he would yell out, "Grasas Italianas."
The more they did noise and would throw things, this Italian people, they come to fuck with me here. Why don't they fuck off? He warned them. Because the witnesses say he would yell at us and everything. but I can understand what he felt. You understand what I'm saying? And in his mind, the way my mind thinks, now these come, now they like this place, and then not 30, but 100 come later, and when I least expect it, I mean, it's all disaster. You know, someone's saying, this won't be the first time. It was the first time that those youth were coming from. It won't be the first time. The thing, I have to do something to scare them, let them know they're not welcome. So then he grabs the rifle and he shot at the ships. I don't think he was shooting to kill or wound. As it turns out, Hammer's son was sleeping in an inflatable raft next to the ship, right? In a ship. Okay, he was around there. He was around there in a ship, Hammer's son, sleeping. Okay, he went in a raft to get near, so then he shot. Then that whole story. There are contradictions because some said that Hammer's son got shot in the stomach and on his leg. They didn't mention anything about the stomach shot. They mentioned the leg. And he died after how many days? 50? No, not 10. 50 days, was it? No, or 4 months. 4 months that he lasted. I can't remember. In the 4th month he died. So then I don't know what happened to him. I don't know why they couldn't save them. Apparently he had an infection. I don't know. I could care less. They don't explain it well. They don't explain it. So then what am I trying to explain from what I saw? I saw that a guy defended his territory. Those people did not belong there. There's a place in royalty. Then go somewhere else. Go somewhere else. Why are you coming here to fuck with me? You come to fuck with the peace that a guy wants. Oh yeah, they had untied his inflatable raft so as to bother him. I mean, they don't tell you, but that's how the youth are, obviously. But of course. Any of you that watched the documentary, did you ever imagine what I've just said? Or did you say, what an evil prince? Because that's what I would say if a neighbor would go crazy against his other neighbor. But they are right. They are right. I've heard of cases of people that are all so upset for the music to be bothering them. One day they go crazy, they go postal and kill the whole family. And then later, what an evil person, he killed everyone. No one takes into account the whole torment that the whole family caused, because to invade me with their music is to invade my home. It is to invade my home and my peace. I don't want to listen to your music. Listen to it with earphones. I don't want to hear it at all. Listen with low volume over there, but if it enters into my home, you invaded my peace. Exactly. Oh, and the cars, don't let me get me started a little more, and nobody has dared to get into my parking lot in my home because I know they're capable. Of course. If you're going to be kings, you have to understand how to respect others. You have to see it in everything to respect where you don't belong. For example, here goes a message, and I don't want it to be directed at. I don't want this to be a message that you misinterpret. My timeline is my timeline. Every time you post something on my timeline, you're going over my will. Because my timeline on Facebook is my home. I could care less if you want to give me news or an article or information. The reality is that you don't really want to give it to me. You want to use my space, which is more public than yours because I have more than 3,000 friends. And for everyone to see your article, if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But you use my space for your propaganda. And I'm not saying whether it's good or bad, I don't like it. You want to publish something, do it on your own timeline. Don't ever, you'll never see me publish anything on your timeline ever, because that is your timeline. What is my timeline? Mine, just like Leslie's, just like all the groups of the eternal truth. So then many people that would post things here, and they would post things. If they post one a day, I'm going to write to them. I can handle one, but I don't like, let's see if you understand. I don't like, but I tolerate that you'll publish something here and there now and again. Well, fine. But if you publish one thing a day, I'm going to write to you. I'm going to say, please don't publish anymore on my timeline. Nothing. My timeline is mine. My timeline is mine. Don't publish anything. You want to talk to me? You want to send me a video? And then DM me. DM me in private and you say, look at this video. If you publish it in my timeline, you're not giving it to me. You're using me, usurping my space, my house, to publish something, my platform. He says, oh, some guy died. I don't know. Somebody very important. Doesn't matter. Publish it on your timeline and DM me about it. I'm also talking about Leslie's. No one should publish things in anyone's timelines. I don't publish my invitation in your timeline. In any of your timelines, you'll never see me doing that. You want to share the invitation, you can share it. Oh, that's nice. You share it. If I want to share something, if I want to share something, I'll share it. But don't publish it on my timeline. And then I had to speak with many people of the eternal truth. And then they start with war, they publish, and they say, oh, look, we publish here. So that everyone sees it. Of course, they publish it there. No one sees it. No, not even your mother sees it on your timeline. But they publish it on my timeline. So then the whole world sees it. Says, where should I publish this? It is the central square, the city square. No, then publish it in the eternal truth. The LVE official. You can publish it there, whatever you want. That is in place. It's just within place. Use your common sense. I mean, of course, not propaganda or things like that, but your thoughts and also your false thoughts. It has some admins there if there's something out of place. But even if it's most interesting, don't publish it in my timeline. First of all, I'll let it pass. I'll let it slide. Then later it says, don't publish anything. You know what happens if you obligate me to do that? In my experience, people get offended. People get offended. But why did they get offended? Because they passed the limit of privacy. If you don't understand that, you can't be kings. A king respects every one of his, I'm going to say servants. It's a word that's misused. His subjects, even worse, of those that are governed, of his people, be more acceptable of his whole space. If the king learns to respect, he's going to be loved. If the king starts to invade, that is the problem. So then how could you be a king if you don't learn to respect? You have to respect in every aspect. In the parking lot, of not steal it from your neighbor. How angry does it get when a neighbor comes and takes your parking spot? Would you get angry or not? You should have be very upset. Upset as if to go and tell them. And also, not to ever take up their spot. Of course, it's the same thing. It says, no, I'm going to tell him anything because then I use his also. So then, how are you going to be kings if you don't learn to respect? Respect has to be absolute. Complete respect. Absolute respect in every aspect. With my music, I can't invade other people's houses. If I make smoke, I can't fill their house with smoke. Maybe if it smells like barbecue, it won't bother me. Then we're pretty close. But to invade him with people, with the cars, with music, with alcohol, with yelling, no, I mean, it's unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. That's why I understand what I saw of the prince. He wanted to give him some warning shots to say, you're not welcome here. I don't ever want to see you here ever again. And it got ugly because he hit Dirk Hammer and he died, and this guy was taken into prison. He says, no, I shot into the air because that was the idea as a warning shot. And so that's how the whole documentary happened. The daughter of Hammer was embittered the rest of her life, and she dedicated herself only to look for whoever was to blame, which was this guy, and to put him away. Took him to before a judge. I mean, watch it. In the judgment, they dictated that he was innocent. There's many things that happened around him. Doesn't matter. I mean, the guy, of course, killed him. There was no will to kill him, but he killed him. It was manslaughter either way, but he always denied it. For some motive or another, he fell in prison. There was people that knew him and started to. He talked to people that ran the place, and he didn't know that there was a hidden camera. And the guy confesses that yes, that he shot him, that he saw him, and he shot him. Of course. The guy was a sniper. Nobody shoots nobody shoot anyone in their leg. You shoot them either in the head or on their chest. I've taught you that. Don't ever shoot them in their leg. I mean, in the movies that your mom doesn't know shit about anything. Like my mom would say, look, in the American, why doesn't he shoot him in his leg? It's complete stupid shit. If you're gonna shoot, you're gonna shoot to stop and to empty the cartridge, or else don't even shoot. That's the truth. If I shoot, it is because I have the intention of emptying the cartridge and then put another cartridge. And when I see that the threat, whether it's a cat or a dog or an ape or a zombie, he's still moving a finger, I'm going to continue to use the cartridges. When I see that the finger stops moving, there is when I'll say, okay, I've stopped the threat. That is the actual mentality of a warrior. The mentality that everyone has to have. You don't shoot their leg. You shoot to the center of the mass, and then you shoot to end the movements so that it's no longer a threat. As long as the guy has something to shoot you, he's going to shoot you with it. That's why you have to stop, paralyze completely with everything you've got and however many you have. I remember that in lots of things I like, everything about weapons and all the rest. A cop, very famous case here in the U.S., they shot some guy more than 280 bullets in his car. So then the news person said, was it necessary to shoot him 283 times in the car? And the guy said, no, we didn't shoot him anymore because we ran out of bullets. I loved it. Absolutely. We loved it because as long as there is movement, you're in danger. So then you have to immobilize the prey. Let's say a tiger comes at you. A tiger comes to attack me. So then I'm going to grab whatever I have, and I'm going to immobilize the tiger until he stops moving a claw and so on and so forth. When I see that he is immobilized, I'll say, okay, I can stop. Or else I'd be just wasting money. So then you have to stop. If you don't have the mentality of weapons or anything like that, say, this guy's crazy. No, I'm not crazy. I am teaching you that your mom said is shoot him in the leg. Well, if the guy would, if he wanted to kill him, he would have killed him. I think he didn't want to kill him. He just wanted to give him a warning shot. The guys, people were saying bullets were flying over our head. Obviously, if he wanted to kill him, he would have killed him. And so there's a story there. But the guy confessed and says, yes, I shot him, and that's it, it's over. But since the judgment had already been made, they can't judge a person twice for the same crime. The daughter never closed the conflict until he confessed, and even if he didn't go to prison, Victor Saboya, he didn't go to prison. That no, he could never close the conflict in her whole life. She was fighting, and at the end when he confessed, he says, now I feel at peace. A person that's absolutely the embittered woman, it's incredible, absolutely incredible. Her daughters and all the rest, all of them with the same purpose, to put in jail the count, no, not the count, the prince of Saboya. As it turns out, the father close the case and he accepted some money to shut the case down. I look at this under the Germanic medicine. You gotta shut down the problem as fast as possible. You can't leave a conflict that's advancing. That I hate him, I'm put him to jail. None of that. That's it. It's over. If it happened, it happened. Just to say that's it. It's over. You have to take that out of your head because you're in an active conflict your whole life. An active conflict. That's horrible, terrible, terrifying. I like Hammer's position. Believe it or not, the position. The doctor said, "Okay, let's shut this down. That's it. It's over. What are we gonna do?" He accepted some money and that's it, it's over. The daughter was appalled that he accepted money and says, I'm going to continue alone because I will not be bought. It's not that Dr. Hammer was bought, but it says, I want to shut this down. And it's a chapter that needs to be taken to closure. We have to end with the conflict, the end of the conflict. As soon as they mention Germanic medicine, but just very much above, it is mentioned that the guy was very controversial, and that it is mentioned, Dr. Hammer said, that his testicular cancer, he attributes it to the death of his Hammer son. And there's also something very insane that I didn't know about. Can't remember if I told you this part before. I didn't know this, and they place him there to make it absolutely ridiculous and fantasy. This is true what I'm going to say from what I heard. I didn't speak with Hammer, but what I read is true. Apparently, it would seem that Hammer told a story about how when he had testicular cancer, he had a dream with his son already dead. Dirk appeared unto him in the dream, and he said, Dad, I'm very fine here where I'm at. But I want you to know that what you are suffering now is due to this. You have to search and find out the connection that there is between conflicts with cancer. And don't you worry for me. That story, I heard it. I read it from Hammer. That his son appeared into him, and that his son guided him to look for that, and that's one of the causes why he called it DHS, Dirk Hammer syndrome. It was because Hammer attributes unto his son that he guided him after being dead. Is that story possible? Completely, I believe it. I believe Hammer because he would not make it up. In one way or another, he would lose prestige to find it on his own. So then who appeared into him? Who could appear into him? The devil. Satan, the very same that went into Judas, the same one that was in the tree, that gave him the fruit. Of course he appeared into him. If there's someone that appears into him, it was Yahweh, of course. Or something sent by Yahweh, an angel, that has nothing to do, or sent him an angel, or Yahweh appeared in the form of his son in the dream, because he is a specialist. It's very typical. Explain to him, to guide him and tell him, go this way, this is the path, take the thread and start to pull, and you're going to find what you're looking for. But when Yahweh needs to guide someone, and he knows that alone he's not going to do it, then he does give you the thread. He says, look, I'm going to help you, start to pull from here. And that's what Hammer did. So then I believe that story completely. I believe it because Hammer told that story. If he hadn't told it, I would not believe it. I know that you didn't know that. And that story shows up there as something ridiculous. The son appeared into him to tell him that his cancer was related to his testicle cancer. Why? How ridiculous. He'd make a soap opera of science fiction. That's why they say it in the movie. What do I get in conclusion? Good thing Dirk Hammer died. That's first of all. And I applaud Príncipe Emmanuel, God with us in the victory. I applaud him. Exactly. I give him the right of defending his territory completely. That mistake happened, and Yahweh sent that bullock to kill him. The guy was good. I don't know if he was good. I didn't like him before. After the documentary, I liked him even better. One says, I'm sure I saw everything the contrary, and I hated him. I hated someone, not me. I loved him. Before I didn't know why the fuck he had shot. I thought he was just on a ship. It was just shooting at the stars. And I said, what is the reason? Now I found the reason. The reason are the invasion of property. And the invasion of property, the son of Hammer, that he didn't even want to go, but the father sent him to go with his little sister so that she wouldn't be alone with all these idiots, the Italian idiots. He had to eat the bullet, all programmed by Yahweh. So then the story gets a 10, just like that, a 10, a complete 100, an A+. I even liked Emmanuel, God with us, give us the victory over sicknesses. I loved it. I could even say DHS, and I would say, how is it called? EVS, an EVS. Because thanks to the EVS, Emmanuel, Victor, Saboya, we knew the medicine. It's Victor. The victory of God over the syndrome or the sickness. So then there you have it. My explanation, I'm sure it wasn't yours, and you were saying, what a son of a bitch, we should condemn him. No. You have to learn to be judges first. And you're far from that. Still, okay, tell the truth. You're far from that. You have a lot to learn. Learn from the master how you judge a situation. Who of you watched the documentary and said, Saboya, Emmanuel, Victor, it was good to answer. Let's see. And don't lie, because if you lie someday, I'm going to find. And I'll take your ring out. Yes. Oh, yes. If you lie. Oh, no, many didn't watch it. If you lie, I'm going to find out. And I'm going to take your ring out. Yes, it is true, Sole. You still need a lot to learn, because you judge like your mother taught you. And since your mother taught you to judge like dog shit, like ass, only lies was the inheritance of our fathers. So then, today I told you, I gave you a lesson of a judgment. A lesson of judgment. First of all, Dirk Hammer didn't have anything to do there. Second of all, that sister, slippery daughter, should not have to go with those guys. And those Italians should not have invaded the territory. And therefore, I respect this guy for defending his territory. He says, fuck off, man, I'm living in peace, and take this as a souvenir. And that's what happened. But thanks to what happens, I thank Emmanuel that shot him. So then use your judgment, just like I thank Caiaphas that said, crucify him. I've taught you that when you were Christian, and also when you were of the eternal truth. What a son of a bitch, Caiaphas. Why did he have him be crucified? And all the priests, those evil ones, I applaud them. Was I there? What would I say? Crucify him. Was I there? And I would shoot Dirk and all those sons of bitches that were there. I would make a lot more holes so that they learn, so that they would learn a little bit to respect. And that's how you would treat this, just like this guy here. You would respect him. The government would give us space. You know, you bother us with music, you can do 10 shots. You know how people would say, oh, was it too loud? Tell me, okay? Or else I'll turn it down a bit. Please forgive us. You heard the dog shit music that I listened to. Please pardon us. You know why that doesn't happen? Because you need more shots here. You need more shots. You need more people like Saboya. If there were people like Saboya, people would respect more. But since people don't respect dog shit, so then when one actually has balls and say, hold on, this is my property. Oh, he's so evil. He's so evil. You have to put him in jail. No, don't be sons of bitches. You have to pacify them all. That's the way it is. This mentality, if you don't have this mentality, you're not a part of the army. You're not part of the army that's coming. The army that's coming says, what? He says, what? 2 hours 11. I mean, I don't want to speak anymore. What I taught you are words of life. I should change it to the song, Words of Life, what I've just taught you. What's it say? The angels are bound. Why are they bound? Because when they are let loose, they'll have a mission of preaching. Does it say that? No, it doesn't say that they're going to preach. It says that they have a mission of healing. No, not that either. It's a way of healing, yes. Because to heal them, you got to cut on the healthy part. So what did the angels have? They're bound. 4 angels bound. And it says that when they are let loose, they're gonna go and kill a third of the population, one third, because they are angry. They see that and they said, I mean, that's fine. Obviously, they should have shot him 3 more times, Dirk Hammer and all the rest, and the sister, because she had to go, needed more shots. In my opinion of the documentary. That is my opinion of the documentary. Now, if you see it, you're going to enjoy it even better. Not from the, oh, what a diabolical guy. No. Spoiler alert. Oh, yeah. If you make me tell something, I do spoilers. If I give you the lyrics of a song, you say, wow, I never heard what you said. Now that I explained the documentary to you. I just explained the documentary. Oh yeah, see that's what happens. They say that I speak too much on the movies and documentaries, and they said she was going to see it later. She's going to enjoy it later. Let's enjoy it again. Okay, fine. I'd be 2 hours 13. Tell the truth. What else could I read to you? Let's go ahead and read. Okay, first trumpet, seal trumpet plague. Did I need something to say about the documentary, or is that fine? I think it's fine. I was going to say, Haniel had said, in some aspects that he saw of the documentary, after listening to me, he said, I didn't understand shit, I'm going to watch it again. Haniel had said certain things like, now I understand why Yahweh doesn't give us power. Just as unjust as the king. I saw that he was not unfair. He was defending his property. If somebody interested into my property, he's going to receive a little worse. Not on the leg. It'll be more effective. It'll be faster. Brutal. That's what I'm going to say. If somebody enters into my property, he's going to receive the treatment. It'll be effective in much more quantity. Industrial quantities. So then Haniel said something which is better to sometimes to measure the words. Haniel said, I understand why Yahweh doesn't give us power to be unjust kings. He's right on one part of it, but not the other part. The time has not come, but we have to have the mind of actually be just. And justice is to defend territory, but of course you have to defend that, first of all. Second of all, justice really was that the father had to go through that because everyone suffers. The other one, that's perfect. He died in peace, Dirk. He was the most blessed of them all. The father also, even though it was with pain, but the blessing comes through the pain. And then the ones that are benefited are all of us because of what Hammer discovered. It's all blessing, brutal blessing, absolutely a brutal blessing. What else did Haniel write? That the unjust judges, well, we have to see if they're unjust because according to the evidences, it was not the judges. The judges didn't judge them. It was a group of people that were the jury. There was a jury, and the jury was the one that absolved them. Why? Because so many things got mixed. It's very difficult to prove that. So many things got mixed. There was another gun that disappeared and blah, blah, blah. But there was no proof. I said the jury was bought. It could be, or it's not. I'd have to listen to the proof with me. It starts with an innocent, without being bought. When I listen to the prince and all those idiots, I say I would have done the same thing. But we'll start with it. He's a bit innocent. After listening to the proof, I could say maybe some guilt. Not a homicide, not a premeditated one or an accidental manslaughter. So a couple of years, that's fine for me. He overexceeded himself, right? I would have judged them with justice. So then, he had his punishment because it was in his head. Persecuted with his name, very ill seen. Don't think that he didn't pay for this. Exactly. The kingdom he never had. Many things, many factors. Of course, I mean, he's going to learn. So then, the other mistake that Haniel when we're not so just, Haniel said, I would like to see that situation where Yahweh is there and Dirk Hammer is there. Don't you have it there? The last part. The last part. I'm not criticizing you, Haniel. Said I wasn't going to mention you, but it's good what I'm saying. Evidently, he didn't understand anything like that. That's first of all. I am honest with you. You didn't understand for shit. Haniel was already. Are you going to mention me? No, I'm not going to mention you. But since you insisted. Don't delete it. Now we all want to read it. He says, I'd like to see when they're together. I'd like to see when they're together. Dirk Hammer, the father, the judge, or something like that. I can't remember. I'd like to quote him well. Did Haniel delete it? Let's look for it. I mean, you could. The first hammer of the Hamarkeia. I mean, we could say yes. We could say it is. It's beautiful. That's fine. Link. Give me the link. Remember where I'm at. Okay. There's a part that mine eyes. I'd like to show this. Okay, it says. I'll read it all. Khanil's saying, don't read it. I'm going to read it all. Because since he shared it for everyone, what's the problem? And it's not criticizing Haniel, okay? Careful, okay? I'm not criticizing Haniel. Hello, honorable judges. I just watched this mini documentary recommended by Chris Les. Well, Leslie recommended it. I don't know if you like the word Chris Les. Do you like it? Leslie criticized it. I don't like Chris Les. I don't know, but I'll leave it. We should tell him. We should express ourselves. Christian and Leslie is better than Chris Les. You know, that's pretty. Christian and Leslie sounds a lot better. And it was recommended by Leslie, not by Christian, which is the same thing, but well, here goes. Okay. And if we had to judge something like this, I consider that the judges that judged in their moment, they deserve to be as condemned as this prince that did this crime due to vengeance. Of what vengeance? Vengeance. What was his taking vengeance upon? What was he taking vengeance upon? He was defending his territory. If we start like that, Haniel, what could we judge? His vengeance, resentment, and arrogance. None of that. Is to defend his peace and tranquility. Okay. That you could see in his face leagues away. No, I never saw him. He was kicked back. A true prince or king supposedly is there to protect his people, but of course, and his property also. You have to set limits, not to be a menace to the people. No, he was not a menace to the people. Some people out of place came and fucked with him in his own property. It was a menace towards him, not for the people. Okay, moving on. You see how easy it is to see things out of place? Very easy to see things out of place. And Khanil says, of course, why did I give my opinion? Well, you asked for it, for the opinion of the four angels. Well, here it comes. We're given an opinion. And then he says, in the end of it all, hold on, it's all wrong. I mean, Haniel, upon another, but I have to continue to ruin. A true prince or king is supposedly there to protect his people, not to be a menace to it. No. The menace was that for his way of living, for his property. They were the threat. He was no threat. They went to his place. Okay, moving on. Everything backwards. Before reading on, I am against all the dog shit of Argentina that is in the press and that give opinions. And what sons of bitches? I can't understand it. I'm gonna explain this situation real quick. It's nauseous to me, just like that. It's nauseous to me. I feel it like that. It's nauseous, and I'm against anyone that says the contrary. Bisha was a player from Boca. For me, was the best from Boca. A Colombian, spectacular the way he played. He was quick. The best thing that Boca had, in my point of view, Bisha. I'm giving a comment. Same situation. Same situation. Bella had a wife or a Colombian bride, and she had problems. I don't know if he hit her. All types of abuse that comes because he also received that type of things. We understand about all that. Either way, he beat her. She went to the cops and denounced him and blah blah blah. Apparently, the girl put charges on him, and some time ago, that case was won. He continued to play in Boca Juniors. The girl wins her case against him, and so then the Argentinian justice says, "Okay, we're gonna give you apparently three years in jail, but not effective jail, but what do they call it? Uh, home prison. It's like probation, even less than that, like probation. If you do well, if you work well, you have to ask us to go out of the city, and we'll authorize it. You have to travel with the club, we'll authorize it. You can't drink alcohol. The problem comes when he would drink alcohol. You can't drink alcohol. If you drink alcohol, then we take you to jail. If we catch you, you can't use drugs, alcohol. You have to take care of all that." I found it, according to the justice, if they judged them well, I'm not going to get into that. I didn't hear the judgment or the case. Let's say it was fair, but the woman was already a judge woman, so then it was already on her side. Either way, let's suppose that it was a fair case, and they gave him that type of a sentence. The Boca Juniors, under the press of the whole press, this is that guy should not play anymore. A wife beater should not play anymore. And the whole world insulted him, and they said, "What sons of bitches?" All of them, what sons of bitches? All of them, the males, the men, and all these sons of bitches. He has to continue to play in Boca or whatever club he needed to play. You can't kick him out like a dog. And wow, what a hypocrisy. Well, he follows the norms of not drinking alcohol, this and that. It is to take him out of his freedom and of being able to get better, make the person better. If the person doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't get violent like that, and if they're separated already and he had to pay for so much money to the girl, leave him alone. No. Humans say, "Oh, you have to, this guy, Bija, you have to destroy him. He can't play one more day in Boca." The women said, if he plays in Boca, we're not going to go to the field anymore to watch the games. The companies that give money, the sponsors, the sponsors, they said, if you allow this guy, this wife beater, to continue to play, then we're not going to be your sponsors anymore. And I'm saying, what an unfair dog shit world. It was so nauseous, the whole situation. He's already judged by justice. He's already judged. Justice didn't even put him in prison. But what sons of bitches, every Argentinian and every one of you, if you know about the situation, you said, good thing for him not to play, you're sons of bitches. Justice was for the guy to be able to play and work. And when say there's like new conditions, if you break them, you're going to have your consequences, of course. Well, but in soccer-wise, he gave everything. He was the best player, even if he was the worst player, because he's the best. They want him because of that. No, even if he was the worst player. But the guy has the right to work, and he cannot be manipulated. People like that, wow, tell the truth, it was nauseous, completely nauseous, the situation. Everything that I heard, oh, this good thing, that wife beater, get away from all of you, fuck off and go to your, because he beat his wife, he already got a sentence. You had to kill him also? Exactly. They make wood for the fire out of a fallen tree. Of course, if I had any power in Boca or whatever, that guy would play, and all of you can go fuck off. I am the president of Boca, and I would say, you know what? This guy plays. You want to all fuck off? Here, there's the door. Don't come here. Don't come to the field. But we're going to do justice here. If he beat his... Of course that's wrong. Of course that's wrong. Well, what does that have to do with soccer? The justice says he can be free and he can work. He can work. And then all of you stop speaking out your ass. All of you. You're also blame all sons of bitches. The same ones that came to fight with the women. How many of you could be judges? Look, Elohim is not wrong in choosing this person to give the message. If you were to think like you, wow, what message can I give? What message could I give? When they came to throw stones against the woman because she had a reason, because they caught her infraganti in the adultery act, and he said, well, we don't know what he said, but he started to write. Maybe Ellen G. White, and it could be writing their guilt. When he rose his head, where are you? Is it Yeshua asked him, where are your accusers? He said, I don't know, they all left. Nobody accuses me. So then he said, neither do I blame you. Go and don't sin no more. So then all of you that cast stones against someone that's sentenced, I defend him just like that, to the death. And if they sentence him in jail, for him to go to jail, but after that he can get his place of work. Of course, absolutely. All of those that said he cannot ever play in Boca, I tell you, you're all sons of bitches. They should all be judged. They're millions, starting with Riquelme. He already showed me that he's dog shit. And then we go on with the president and all his companions. All of them, they're all actual sons of bitches. Really, the guy should have played. And the people that follow the club, they don't want to follow him. But they're the wife beaters. They're the Pharisees that come with their stones. That is what justice is. If you don't learn that from me, who are you going to judge? Who are you going to judge? In this simple case, I'll move on. It reads as follows. In the end of it all, with lots of sense, we see why Yahweh does not give us an easy life and of kings as we really are for him. No. The concept is wrong. The concept is wrong. We're not here as kings. We are kings, but we're not as kings. If he doesn't give us a life as king, you know what? Because you all lazy bums, you sons of bitches. Because I live as a king my whole life since I got married with Leslie. I live as kings. We're two kings. We're always bomba. We have as kings, which is an excellent time in Argentinian. We do whatever we want and whatever we wanted. Don't tell me that we don't live as kings, because I consider myself a king since I got married. Since I met my queen, we had a kingdom. So then I cannot accept, Haniel, for you to tell me, that's why we don't live as kings. No, I do live as a king. And you can't say that I don't live as a king. I live as a king. But not my whole life. Or not, Leslie. Exactly. So then notice your situation first. What happens with you that don't live as kings? Okay, moving on. Doesn't give us an easy life in that of kings as we really are for him, because our spirit and our being is easier for it to be corrupted instead of wanting to do things as a king should do them. No, absolutely not. That's what, if you're going to be corrupted to be a king now, then you're never going to be a king there also. You understand what I'm saying? If you're not faithful in the few, how are you going to be faithful in the more? If you're giving me a message like if I'd give you my power, you'd be corrupted and tell the truth, which is possible, what I'm saying, then I have a whole bunch of asses that are worthless, because if they have a little more, they'll be corrupted. I don't want anybody like that. Look at you want these? Are you sure? It's not that I'm sure. I have these worthless people that don't risk anything, not even for a ring. They have no balls, not even for anything. They have no faith. They don't even have a purpose in life. And you tell me that you don't get blessed, because if you would bless them, it'd be even evil. They're already evil. No one in that position is ready to reign. No one. Absolutely no one. You know who's ready to reign? One that has the mind of a king today. Today is the day that you have to think like a king, or you think you're going to have it later. Haniel, tell me, are you going to have the mind of a king later? Or do you have it today? I'm trying to explain it to all of you in this subject. Either you're God today or you will never be a God. Just like that, and never in your fucking eternal life that you have. Either you're God today or you will never be a God. I don't preach to continue on your dog shit and your stupidity, continue on in your I can't kind of mindness, and someday God will come and he's going to give you light and wisdom, give you everything that you haven't developed here. He's going to give you all the strength that you don't have here. He's going to give you the bravery that you never had here. He's going to take you out from your comfort zone because you deserve it, so then you will be a king that way. How the fuck are you going to be a king that way? How? Impossible. Those that don't have royal blood here today, they'll never do it ever in your fucking life. Understand that. Understand it well. Because that's why we are here today. Why the fuck do you listen to me? I ask you, why the fuck do you listen to me? To be some idiot, some dog shit faggot writing to me and then saying, oh, what a victim that I am because I was hurt so much. Stop being a victim. Kings are not victims. You are doers of your mind. I apply this always with them. The ring is just a dumb test. You see a huge mountain? I see something stupid, completely stupid of a test. Of course, Elohim imposes that test. Elohim imposes a different type of test, not that dog shit. So then if you can't surpass this, that's just so stupid, $200, you're thinking still, how the fuck am I going to pay for this? How the fuck are you going to be kings, I'm going to ask you. Of course, you don't remember what we studied in Justice. I don't know what subject it was. Justice. About justice, you have to develop it here. What Haniel is writing there, that's why God doesn't give us power, because we would be unjust. No, you're never going to receive power. You're unjust here. You don't know how to judge here. How the fuck are you going to judge over there? How? Tell me how. And all the ones that I know, that my eyes are just, are ready to receive power today. Today. And every one of them has to understand in their mind, I am ready to judge. But of course I'm ready to judge. But of course, if there are doubts in your mind, there's doubts in the mind that's going to give you the power. But of course, we move on. Move on. That's why when you write something, really read it over and over. Read it through my teachings, not of your eyes, of my teachings. Moving on. Said it'd be easier for them to be corrupted instead of wanting to do things as a king should do them. That is why he gives us hardship and what's forced. Maybe in something stupid is hard for you, Haniel, or for the rest, but for me, wow. No, absolutely. You're seeing things from the wrong point of view. What's hardship and forceful is so that you learn to be a king. Damn it. That's why he gives you hardship. He says, oh, someday I'm going to have some muscles like this, like Schwarzenegger in his prime. And he was like this. Someday I'm going to have it. How are you going to reach that? Because somebody's going to give it to me. All of a sudden, they're going to give me everything, that body. I'm going to have it. I said, why don't you go to the gym? No, it's too hard and it's hardship and forceful. That effort is like, no. Kings are done precisely with hardship and forceful. It's not that they have to give us easy. Of course my life was hard, but I turned it over once I got married and I chose the person that was for me and that I was for her. That's first of all. Not every decision of yours is what will form you. So then what's hard and forceful is so that you learn to be a king. Not that God gives us the forceful now so that we don't advance. We step in the hardship and forceful, all dog shit. But the problem is that I'll be king someday. No, don't be an idiot. What's hardship and forceful so that you make an effort and you go next? What comes next? More forceful and hardship. I'll show you who the fuck is a king. What is more hard and more forceful? Because that's what developing me. Do you understand the difference? Do you understand or not? Moving on. It says, that's what gives us a hardship and forceful so that when we know how to thank, no, that when glory comes, we know how to use it precisely, not to thank. I don't want to thank for shit from Yahweh. I'll repeat this again so that you've never heard from a preacher. I don't want to thank Yahweh for shit. He has to thank me. I'll repeat this. That is the mentality of a king. Of a servant thanks the king that gives him what he doesn't deserve. But a king, like what I am, like every one of you should be, are not waiting to thank Yahweh. Yahweh has to come and thank us because he placed us in a dog shit world, in a hard world, and we're marvels, we're kings. You really took a reward, you sons of bitches. It couldn't be a worse terrain than this. I placed you in the worst place with the worst governor, worst ruler, and your fucking mother. Just like that, and your uncle, and your grandmother that took advantage of you, and you kept going and were stronger. Placed you in a place of injustice, and you continue to be just. I thank you, and I'll thank you my whole life. That's why I hand you the land, never backwards. Thanks, Yahweh, for giving me because I don't deserve anything. I'm a sinner. No, those are the servants. The king is going to be thanked for him, what he did here. Not just Yahweh, but the rest of the world. That is the mind of a king. Moving on. That's why when the glory comes, if we think this way, it'll never come for you. Let us know how to thank and to live at the height of it. It's all wrong, completely wrong. Just delete. On the other hand, it's evident that Yahweh provoked this apparent disgrace for some day that's a lot greater. It's not an apparent disgrace. Of course he provoked it. It is a disgrace. That's why you try to elaborate things that you say. I've said all that, Haniel. I said that even Dirk Hammer represents that lamb that looked at slaughter. When somebody says, I think, no, not dog shit, I've explained this. That's why I get upset. I get upset when someone says, I think it's an apparent, unfortunate situation that Yahweh provoked. This misfortune, what did you discover? You discovered gunpowder. Come on, you have to be more just. Some of the people want to be king. But people, in my eyes, they show themselves. That is the problem. I see it. You can make yourself be seen with the whole world. I'm not speaking to Haniel, to everyone, to the whole world. Those, I'm not going to reward you anytime. The only one that will reward you is the one that comes above yours. Yahweh, Yeshua, who is Yahweh. He said, when you pray, or when you speak stupid shit, don't speak in public. Don't let anyone knows what you're speaking. First of all, you speak stupid shit. First it's stupid shit. Complete stupid shit. Always open your mind to say stupid shit, and then just to be seen, only to be seen. He says your reward, you had it at that time for those that saw him and applauded him. Oh, what a holy person. Oh, how smart. Oh, how intelligent he is. That is the reward. But they'll never be rewarded for their Father, because it comes above. This is when you want to speak with Elohim. What did they say? Speak to him in secret. If you want to ask me, don't ever ask me, what did the four angels think? Don't ever ask me. You really upset me. It's like questioning publicly. Don't question me publicly. If you question me publicly, I see the level that you have. You want a question towards me? You ask me in private. Publicly, it's kind of like to already dare me. It's like a challenge, and I already get upset. Don't ever say anything. I'd like Christian's opinion. No, never say that. You want my fucking opinion? Write to me in private. It's the same thing as prayer. The beginning of prayer is not to expose people. Write to me you want my opinion? Write to me in private. You want to say something about me? You can say it in public. But if you write to me, I'd like to see the opinion of Christian. But everyone reads it. I'd like to see Christian's opinion on this matter. What did the four angels say? I'd love to see it. You write that to me in private. I'm teaching to you. So how the fuck are you gonna work in my court? You make a mistake. If you make a mistake, you're gonna find me. In what? In faster than you can. Then rooster can sing, because no one will make any mistake, not an emotional mistake or stupid mistakes like this in my court, or else you cannot be a judge. So then I'm teaching you. I'm going to show you from now how to act. Don't ever question people in public. I'd like to know who the opinion. Shove it up your ass. First of all, that's first of all. Second of all, you want the opinion from that person, do it in private. Yeshua tells you. You want to pray into the Father, do it in private. Don't pray to him so that people can hear. No. Do it in private. That's why I detest the Brazilian and Colombian players that really get me so upset. They raise their hands. I would kick them out right there. If you pray in public, if you kneel in the field, you're not going to play here. You're an anti-Christian. No, I'm not anti-Christian. You're the anti-Christian because you want people to see you, you son of a bitch. You kneel down, the Colombians and the Brazilians, okay? What sons of bitches, the Colombians and Brazilians? They're going into the field, they kneel, they raise their hands like this, and the camera sees them. What sons of bitches? You will never play in my team. Just like that, not my team ever again. And then after praying like this after the game, what sons of bitches? They'll never play ever again, nor will I resurrect them before 1,000 years. You pray in public like that, and the ring, I'll take it out. You won't have anything because you don't respect the minimum stage. First of all, who the fuck are you praying to? You know what could be acceptable there? I'm praying for being not to get injured. That's acceptable, but pray to win? What about the other team? It's from the devil. How stupid. You're such idiots. And in Brazil and Colombia, they always do. Some Argentinians copy that. I don't know. There's Argentinians are such idiots, but the Brazilians, I mean, I don't want to use any words that they're just stupid, and the Colombians also, and some Mexicans here and there, but I can't remember. I can remember the Mexicans, and they pray to the Virgin Mary. But tell the truth, how embarrassing is that? Tell the truth. I seem like they're Antichrist. It brings to my memory this friend Emmanuel Victor Savoya. Okay, moving on. They have fun with me, and you learn. If you don't learn, at least you have fun. Okay, it's better that you comprehend it. Moving on. It says, on the other hand, it's evident that Yahweh provoked this the misfortune for a greater good. Both for the Hammer lineage, Hammer is only written with one M. The actual hammer, the tool, is two M's. Is it the hammer or is it the doctor? Hammer is only one M. The tool in English has two M's. I want to clarify that. It bothers me a bit. Both for the Hammer lineage as of the LVE lineage, if things are not in the same order that it happened in these happenings today, maybe we would not have no divine message. We would not know shit. What the fuck are you saying, Daniel? Maybe. No, what do you mean, maybe? There is no maybe. Doctor would learn it, and he would not be called DHS. It'd be called who knows who the fuck else. No, Daniel. This was exact, precise. There's not a maybe. Either this or nothing. We would not know dogs. Do you understand that? Okay, exactly. It's like saying maybe if Jesus wouldn't die, maybe we would find some other method. No other method for Yahweh to die. Crucify him. Crucify him. Exactly. Moving on. Okay. Okay. That's why I like good written that people that really think over things. Think, please. Let's see, where was I here? Maybe. Okay. Today, maybe we would not have learned the divine medicine at the level that we know it. That is why I believe that this misfortune was another act of love and mercy of Yahweh. No act of love and mercy, dog shit. It was when he had to teach us something. If this was not done, well, I would find out later what he could have taught us. Then Yahweh would know me. He was going to have to send me to hell and create a hell for me because I was going to get so upset it would be way too much. What act of love? I mean, it was the least thing that he could do for us to learn something. It's been 6,000 years of lies. He would have taught it since Adam and Eve. Now I can tell you, because you say, where is the justice of Yahweh in a way that I want for what I would like for it to be? How could it be solved in this world? If you make me remember, how could it be an alternate plan for all these 6,000 years? How would I do an alternate plan? I might, not the creator, I. Now, without any killings or anything, without getting to the 6 trumpets plagues, without getting to all that, I have a solution. I have it. If you let me remember, I'll tell it to you. Okay. Maybe Yahweh hears it and says, oh, you're right. So then let's have a Mandela effect of all the Bible and changes everything. Is this a Mandela effect, changes all the prophecy? One would say it was always that way. I mean, how are you going to prove the opposite? Okay, here it goes. So then it says, this misfortune, another act of love and mercy of Yahweh to humanity, even though of what happened, even though they were so shocking and hurtful for this lineage, but it's the best way of being able to comprehend the depth of the true health, healing of any sickness. Not the best way. It's not the best way. Everything that you wrote is wrong, unprecise, written wrong. When you write something, start to measure what you write. It's wrong, absolutely wrong. Everything is wrong. What depth of the true healing and the balls, my balls about that. You say something, you better be clear, tell me this. They are laws that are absolutely unbreakable. They cannot be negotiated with. There's nothing. So then, when Hammer discovered it, he noticed that oh wow, that's why they're laws, because they're unbreakable. They're laws. They're not suggestions. They're not suggestions. They're laws. You break it, this happens. In the end of it all, I believe that it'll be a subject that it'll be very much discussed and even studied. And when Yahweh organizes everything again, no, there's no need. We're going to be talking about this stupid shit when everything ends about the situation of Hammer. No, we'll talk about it now. It'll be very discussed subject. What, the death of the guy? No, I applaud it. I'll tell Hammer, I'll take their comment. Look, you were good for something, but you know how many people will die later if we gave you 60 more years of life? What the fuck would you have achieved? Nothing. You achieved for the DHS to have your name. That's the best thing. So then shut up and don't complain. But of course, absolutely, but of course, you were a slaughtered lamb. What do you want? And we'll give you eternal life. So then shut up and you can be more than thankful. Or else I would never even fucking know you in your fucking life. Every time I say DHS, it's your name that I'm saying. What else do you want? You didn't miss out on anything. Moving on. In the end of it all, I believe a very discussed subject and even study. What are we going to study? When Yahweh organizes everything, once again, when Yahweh organizes everything, again, Yahweh's not going to organize shit. How many times am I going to tell you? Yahweh's not going to organize shit. Either we organize it or nothing's going to happen. How many times? You're still Christians to the bone. When Jesus comes in the clouds of heaven, Yahweh doesn't come to do anything. And I'll demonstrate it in another text that we're going to present it next Shabbat. But since we cannot advance today, I've been 11, there'll be 12, there'll be 13. Because this is what's fun. I mean, you learn so much. I'm not talking just to speak. If I just speak, what are we gonna eat? Sandwiches. I would have shut everything down, go to eat. I didn't even present the octopus. Couldn't even present the octopus. Not this here either. This, Haniel, comes to organize everything. Let me explain it to you, but apparently you haven't understood it. This comes to and knocks down the statue, and this becomes a mountain that covers the whole earth. Who organized everything? This. Exactly. That was practicing here justice, so then everything was wrong. So then we're still waiting for Jesus in the clouds. Very wrong still. I'm almost sure that as this Yom Kippur, the angels are not going to be let loose. Because among the fallen, many of you would be. Among the fallen, many of you would be among the fallen. So then, I believe that because of everything that we've been studying and the little that we're here, yeah, we're still in the first seal trumpet plague. So then I believe, even though I sustain this and I stand by it, and I'm very sure that this year was the one of the Jubilee, and since Babylon does not want to hand over the power, you don't know that it doesn't matter what date of handing something over when they don't want to give it to you on good terms, they're not going to give it to you. So then there's some time, and then later we can recover it. This year they have to give the power. They don't want to hand it over. That's fine. Next year we'll take it from them. A different one. This year was the year. Doesn't mean that we'll receive it because precisely the guy I was looking for it. Speaking about many things at the same time, I'll move on with this. I was looking in the Talmud and the Jews, what they were saying. What would happen if in the year of the Jubilee, he says, no, I'm not going to give it to you. I'll give a fuck. I'm going to give you shit. Take it from me. Just like that, because he had balls. If the guy was powerful and had a lot of employees in Zorbi, he says, go ahead and take it from him. How are you going to take it from him? I was trying to look for the solution and couldn't find it. Because they don't speak about it, but don't think that there wasn't a case like that. If somebody has somebody that living in your house, they don't want to get out, the police has to come and kick them out, but not that day, but some month later. Argentina may be 1 or 2 years until somebody helps you, or you take it by force. The guy doesn't want to get out. What are you going to do? With a judge, order from the judge, but until you get the order, there's protections and all the rest. This guy doesn't want to get out. So I say, Babylon, he says, I'm comfortable. Where am I going to go? I don't have any space. And even less next to the lake of fire. I mean, it had to be crazy to see, no, I'm not going to go there. You have to take me out. Well, this was the year that he's going to hand over it. We're never going to declare another Jubilee. Never, ever. This was the one, the only one. We're going to have to fulfill. Did you understand what I just said? Okay, so then unless there is some sort of miracle, I believe it'd be the next Yom Teruah. And if it's not, it'll be the other one. Okay, I didn't want to take the hopes away, but okay, moving on. What was I speaking about? Okay, in the end of it all, it'll be a very much discussed case, and even studied when Yahweh organizes everything once again, and give us the opportunity of speaking with Him face to face and with Hammer also, and so to be able to learn all of us about this, both Hammer from his Creator and of his Elohim, as we from Him, of whom it would be from Him, Yahweh or Hammer? Hammer? You think I'm going to want to learn from Hammer? Hammer gave me everything that I wanted the day that Yahweh gives us. I don't need to learn anything. So then I can't get together with Hammer to see what the fuck he knew. I'm going to have to get him, update him, because I'm going to have the power of all the laws that everyone has. It'll be different. If we don't think like Hammer, to learn some German, please, Hammer has to learn from us. It says, without a doubt, there's something else I want to read. That's why I'm reading for this. And then to learn from this, both from Hammer, from his Creator, and from his Elohim, as we from him, as an instrument, as a blessing towards humanity. Here, you needed to write something, and this is how it shows injustice. You see how it was us, it was Hammer and Yahweh, someone else. Who else? Manuel Victor Saboya. He doesn't have to learn. Or are you? Is he a son of a bitch that has to go into the purifying hell? When I get, and for Hammer and for the daughter that lost her mind, and we'll have to work with the daughter more than anything. The daughter has to stop hating Emmanuel Victor. The daughter has to embrace Emmanuel Victor and thank him that he shot her fucking brother. That's what I will see. I will have it. I will see that it's done. No, he took my brother. He didn't understand the shit, the function of every person. In the years that he lost with hate to try to put him in jail, her whole life, the beauty, all the joy of the world, she became an embittered, stupid bitch, looking for justice. Never find justice because the hammer doesn't come from them. That's first of all. Second of all, she has to learn that it was all necessary. Absolutely. So then, whom would I get together? Her, Manuel Victor, Dirk, and then great embrace, and then laugh about what he shot. And laugh about it and say, wow, how were we manipulated by Yahweh? We had a good work. It says, I don't know. You didn't recognize this as a king also. Okay, that's it, it's over. They're all resurrected. That's what has to happen. Not this writing. We're going to learn from Hammer. Of course.
What's marvelous is that this happened back in 78.
Yeah, when Argentina was a champion. That was more important.
The most important part is that we see it again from 217, precisely before all this plan that came would come. We learned it in 217 and they in 2019. Exactly.
We learned it in 217 and they in 2019. Of course, the four angels have to learn it first.
How Yahweh did everything to open our eyes and given us our ears to never find about this, of what happened in that year. Never, ever. Didn't have even the
Never, ever. Didn't have even the least idea. Of course, he blinded our eyes, gave us lies, and then he sold us the truth. And then I have to thank him. And I have to thank Yahweh. No, he's going to thank me.
No, but it was marvelous because in that moment, it was when we focused everything so that we would not fall into the lies. But of course, no.
But of course, no, he came in the exact moment. It's all exact, precise moment. That is why, look at how I present things to you. I'm speaking to Haniel and every one of you, because Haniel, I get along very well. This is a teaching for everyone. It gets way past that we're going to learn. No, they have to learn. They have to learn how to motive. Everyone has to learn and to love Judas. Christians hate Judas or not. He's the most accursed name in all of Scripture. Judas, they want to insult you. When they call you a traitor, they call you what? You're Judas.
Before that, you said that it was a stumbling rock, but maybe you don't say that now. But it says that unto you, those that believe, he is precious. But unto those that don't believe, the stumbling rock that the builders cast out has now become the cornerstone. So then you, Christian Silva, for the very same that are your stumbling rock, it's also unto salvation. But of course. So then it's the very same rock. Either you build it or it makes you fall.
But of course.
So then it's the very same rock.
Either you build it or it makes you fall.
Depending on everyone's faith. Exactly. Absolutely. Moving on. It says, without any doubt, Hammer with double M. And now you're going to remember that it's only one M. I'm going to laugh about these mistakes. Hammer with two M's in his lineage have been a tool for healing for all humanity and for the bride of Yahweh. That's all fine. And also the first true hammering, accurate hammer unto pharmakeia. That's fine. And you, what do you think about this? And it'll be the very opinion of the lineage. Don't ever tell me this in public. Do it in private. And to understand what the four angels bound think. It was the lineage and of the four angels bound. Who are the four angels bound? Four angels are the lineage children. And I didn't understand the question. They represent the group of people that will be you. But in terms of the four angels bound, is the four angels bound in the river Euphrates, which represents Babylon. So then it was a question that is not well understood. He tried to say, I know what he tried to say. He tried to say the opinion of the rest, but the rest are not called four angels. The four angels are represented by them. They are specifically this part, but this part then will be represented by everyone. I have to be more accurate, like you said, accurate in our definitions. A blessing for everyone. When you ask like that, I could understand perfectly well. That's why I asked you. And what do you think about this? About what? About what? And clear, it'll be more appreciated. An opinion. You're asking for an opinion about what, and you're standing on which side are you? Of what? Everything you just wrote. You never said, even if somebody could understand. You never said, what is the opinion of the documentary? You have to be perfect readers and have a comprehension of reading comprehension. I got a statement, then ask, what do you think about it? About what? I'll ask. About all the stupid shit that I said. And then you can't say, no, about the documentary. No, you would have said, what do you think about the documentary? No, to writing all of what? About what? Everything that you said about that. That is the only thing that fits. I know that you said no. What I'm asking is, what do you think about the documentary? No, it never says what you think about the documentary. What do you think about it? Of course, it'll be your opinion will be very much appreciated about what you just gave us. In the opinion of the lineage, of the Silva lineage, and what the four bound angels think. Okay, that's it. So that's all that I had to tell you. Now you can delete that fucking post that is no good. I'll delete it. I'll go ahead and delete it because, tell the truth, it's an embarrassment. Let's go ahead and delete it too. 1, 2, 3, and it's deleted. Why? Because I don't want you to be even more embarrassed. Just so that you learn. Just so you learn something. You think more like kings. Think more like God. And never involve what I think. Because when I read that, I want to insult you. That's the first thing that comes from my mouth. What a son of a bitch. If you want to ask me something, answer privately. Don't mention me in public asking me what I think. No. That's not how a friend acts. And that's not how a judge acts. That's not how this court of justice acts. Never. Also, don't add things in my timeline or Leslie's timeline. That's why you have the eternal truth, the official LVE grip. What else was I going to say? And there are posts that say that really are bothersome. For example, I'm going to say what's bothersome so you understand, all of you, okay? All of you. Don't ever risk to say what should the rest do. Let me repeat, never say what others should do. Because of authority saying, in my point of view, you should do this. You have to translate this, or I have to do this. No, you're no one to say this. If I don't tell you as a guiding, why do you try to give an opinion to what you have to do? Also, don't ever say, I believe that you have to buy the ring. No, don't give, all of you, stop talking out your ass. The only one that speaks is I invite you. You don't invite people to say, you have the ring already? Do you have the ring already? I think that you should have the ring. How do you not have the ring yet? Some stupid bitch would say that. Some dominator guy would also say that. No, absolutely not. That's why I'm here. That's why Leslie's here. And we're going to give the guidance of what should be done. How I hate when people go and to say, I think that more propaganda should be made. No. You're already wrong about your place. You don't know your place. You're wrong. Leslie didn't tell you. I didn't tell you of any type of admins. That's what those that I had, I got rid of all the admins that I had. All of them with with some wings. I left some just to correct, but not to admin, not Gabi, not Edgardo. Can they kick anyone out? They can't. Because what happens, there's no more direction. Since we're in correction, I want you to learn. You are not here to guide, are not here to say what people should and shouldn't do, if they should use this or not, if they should do this or not. What happens? No, don't say that. Don't get in trouble. That's first of all. Second of all, don't ever mention me in public asking for an explanation, not me or anyone. That's why you have a private DM. What else did you learn? Don't be miserable. Don't ever piss me off. Don't ever piss me off. Because Saboya is not, it will be small next to me. Don't piss me off because Saboya had an outdated weapon. And to top it off, that I tell you, because you're here to learn, not to command. You're here to learn.
If they dare to say something like that in public, then...
Exactly. I'm going to answer them, get thee hence, Satan. Why? Because that's what Yeshua would say. Because that is what Yeshua said. Lord, how are you going to do this? No, it's not convenient for you to say. No, how are you going to die? No. What did Yeshua say? Delicately, he said, look, you'd be right. I'm going to think it over. But I think that this would be better like this. Peter said, no. Go fuck off to your mother's cunt. You adversary, get away from me. So when somebody does something against, he's an adversary. He's a Satan. So then you have to guide the person. Gotta guide him. And yes, that's why I deleted this comment completely out of place. Absolutely out of place. What should Haniel would have said publicly better instead? He would have said, I watched the video that Leslie commented. And tell the truth, which Leslie recommended. Tell the truth, I found that it was like this and that's it. It's over, not to ask anyone's opinion. That's it. It's just risk his own opinion and that's it. Never say, what is your opinion? Don't. It's not a forum. I hate the forums. I hate the forums. Read the mind with Leslie. I hate the forums. After I have a forum, I'll delete everything. Let's do Q&A. No. I don't want that. I could care less. That is not to guide anything. It's not a forum. What is your opinion? Don't say that. I don't like that. It's not a forum. You want to have a forum, make your own. But don't call it the eternal truth. Don't involve me. If you involve me, I'm going to just leave quickly from the forums. Look, sometimes, no, because this is like this. But look, no, absolutely not. I'm not here for that. Absolutely. Very well. And just don't get upset. Or else you're not willing to learn. 3 hours and 9. You know how much you learned today about trumpets, maybe nothing, but how much did you? But of course, I mean, you learned lessons that you cannot pay for. All of Argentina, all of Boca Junior has to learn. All the ones that watch documentaries have to learn. They have to learn what is the true justice. That is what you got to learn. The true justice. And I was going to tell you my solution. I'm going to tell it to you because it's been past 3 hours. Next Shabbat, which would be my solution, I'll fix everything. In my point of view, it's very intelligent. Okay, seals, trumpets. No, we don't have to have anything. Yahweh has to let us know about something, and with that, wow. Even if it's 1,000 years, we'll solve everything. I'll tell it to you next Shabbat. It's not just a dream that I had a dream, but a dream that I imagine that this could be a solution that's fantastic. If Yahweh were to tell me. So, truth, Christian, I don't want to go on with this. Grab the revelation that was for you and burn it. And do whatever you want. I'll give you power. You have the ring that'll activate it to whomever you want. Okay. I'm going to choose whichever. If you don't like someone, of course, just deactivate it. So then you deactivate it, I'll let you do whatever you want. What would you do? This. I'll tell it to you next Shabbat. Without any further ado, let us wrap up with a word of prayer. Beloved Yahweh, we are waiting for you. This is the love. This is the year of the Jubilee. There won't be another year of the Jubilee. We're waiting for you to give us the power, as kings that we are, to do away with Babylon. We ask that you, this situation of kings, enter into our mind, that the true kings comprehend that they're kings, and we are here to surpass all problems, any obstacle, because we are kings. All this, we thank you for it in your precious name, YHWH Eloheinu. Semper Fi. Let the laurels be eternal that we knew how to achieve. Crowned, crowned with glory, let us live. Long live the Argentum Bride of Elohim. For next week, precisely the same text, Leslie, because we didn't even read it. Alleluia to each and every one of you. We'll look for another player. There's the 4 angels right there. I'm just playing Alleluia to each and every one of you. It was all a teaching, very special one. Take everything in the best way possible. It is for your own growth as a king. Alleluia to each and every one of you. Don't forget to comment this video, because what I ask you, you don't do, and what I don't ask you, you do. Comment this video, give us a like, and be better every day. Alleluia to every one of you. Semper Fi.